what's going on, everybody? Welcome to the very first holiday Podclash featuring us three people over here. Well, we're going to say who we are in a second real quick. It's been a tough year for everybody, but there's also been some great moments too. So this is going to be an opportunity for us to all come together and just talk. So let me start it off. What's going on, y'all? I am Terran Morgan II, a.k.a. the smoothest baldy on both sides of the Mason-Dixon lines, the baldy god, superbly supreme gleam, know what I mean? Top two baldies, and I'm not number two.
I can't.
And the host of the Miseducation of the People podcast. I'm going to pass it over to the next person. What's going on with y'all?
Hey, I like the supreme gleam. I like that. That's good. That's a good AKA.
Exactly. You know.
Hey, it's yours truly, it's your man Monty Styles, aka Styles, aka ADM, Monty Merlot, Styles, Mabet, Quarantine Ting, Summertime Styles I like Blau. If you listen to the podcast, the People Talking podcast, that is, you know all the AKs. Welcome, guys. Happy New Year.
Yes.
And then you have me. Hey, y'all. My name is Tiffany. I am the host of They Didn't Tell You podcast. I only have one AKA, and I decided, y'all inspired me to get my AKA, and my AKA is just Legally Black. It's me on Instagram. Ooh. That's all I got for y'all.
Okay.
Nothing else. Legally Black, girl.
Maybe Rihanna's cousin's twice removed. So let's go with that because my Caribbean sister. But that's all I have. Them two got the AKAs down. Next time I'm gonna be ready for y'all.
It's a whatever. You gotta chip away there little by little.
Work.
Can I tell y'all before we get into it too? I'm really excited to be doing this episode with y'all. Collabing is hard. Collabing is not easy, and I want to say that at the beginning because I feel like we need to hear it. All three of us need to hear it before we get into it. It's tough, and so I appreciate us getting to this point to record this episode so that all of our listeners can hear us across the board and show it can be difficult, but that shit can get done.
For sure.
Let's get it done.
And we have three strong personalities, so it is tasking sometimes, but it's nice that we could get this Willie P fam together.
Word.
And thanks for Taryn for leading the video, the graphics.
No problem.
And it's been great. Let's do this.
I'm a raging Virgo. I apologize, y'all, but go ahead.
Pisces gang. Let them fish swim.
Virgo rising. So I see you out here. Leo's getting up. Leo. All right. So, we got a couple topics we're going to hit on today. And, we're going to get into the very first one.
All right. Well, let's talk about music and entertainment. Rap album of the year. I'm the hip hop snob, hip hop connoisseur out here, whatever. So it's only right that I let you guys into the world of music this year. I mean, music has been crazy this year. 2020 has been a year to say the least. I know we all know that. By the time March came, we were quarantined up, and the people, the French Montanas, and the Meg Thee Stallions, we didn't really know what to do right away because that's that club music, that's that outside party music, and you couldn't go outside, you couldn't turn up for real. You was doing all lounge music, because you was lounging in pajamas. You ain't wearing no jeans.
Come on now.
So music has been crazy. They kind of got it together during the summer, and people started putting more music out. They were less scared, and we ended up getting some good albums. My favorite rap album of the year was Rappity Rap was King's Disease, Nas. That was probably my favorite. Nas is veteran for sure, still in the top 5, if not 5. And he Hit Boy laced us with some impressive beats. He produced the whole thing, got the firm back together, got Foxy Brown over there. She could hear everything.
And I'm about to mute my mic.
Turn the volume up a little bit.
Not with my good sis.
When she said turn the beat up, she really meant it.
Damn. Damn, he had to do it. Man, Cormega was there. We had a Big Sean collabo with Don Toliver. It was a really, really well put together album. Way better than the Kanye. That thing that we got a year ago.
Massacre.
That massacre, it shouldn't be called Nasir, it'd be called Massacre.
You know what? I'm done with it. Please stop.
King's Disease was my album, though. How about you, Tiff?
For me, I have to go with Blast, BLXST. If you listen to my podcast, you heard me use one of his songs for my Songs of the Week from his No Love Lost album. They all call them EPs, LPs. I really don't I'll be forgetting what the difference is between the two. But to me, it's all just music. I don't like to, delineate between what and what. But I love that album. I love that he brings like an R&B melody to it. And I think I said it before, like he gives like a Drake-ish vibe in his music, but he actually sounds better. Like he has a better singing voice. And I think I mentioned it before too. Like I don't really favor or like Drake's singing voice, much like I don't favor or like Nicki Minaj's singing voice. I like them as rap artists. Yeah. But when someone can do both and do it very, very well, I'm like, okay, I could tip my hat to that. And the whole album was just fire to me. So I know he's been out for a little bit. He's not brand new. But I love his creativeness too. I don't know if you've known, you got a chance to look at his music videos, but he did kind of like a series of videos to tell a story with this album, album. And it was really, really dope. Very well thought out. Creative genius. Shout out to you.
EP stands for extended play. It's weird because it's like maybe 4 or 5 songs normally. So how extended is it? LP, I forget what that stands for, but that's just like the regular record.
Thank you for schooling us. Because I mean, I knew that the names of it. I knew there was like a difference with how many songs each one has, but I'm like, it's a collection of music.
It's a collection.
I don't feel. I
don't even see.
Honestly, I don't. And like honestly, I'm a fan of the more singles, just throwing it out there and randomness. I don't need the complete. It's nice when you get a complete, but it's all good. But for me, I don't have an album of the year. I have a group of the year. Griselda, okay. They held it down for real. They kind of remind me of what we're doing over here at Real Talk Session Series, building empire. You know what I mean? They got the clothes, they got the fashion, they got just everything.
The fashion, they do got the fashion.
Exactly, so shout out to Westside Gun.
I can't even say that. I can't even. How you say it?
Well, boo 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 boo,
boo 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 boo.
I'm not even going to embarrass myself and even try to pretend I know what's going on.
I can't do like the grip, the grrr.
I won't.
Yeah, I can't do none of that. But yeah, shout out to the whole Griselda for real. Westside Gun, Armani Caesar. She's definitely one of the top rappers out here, not just female rappers. The Liz album was tough. And she does that thing when you talk about singing and rapping. She does that well too.
Armani,
so
I'm gonna check her out.
Yeah, Benny the Butcher. I'll say Benny the Butcher.
The Butcher.
Yeah, well, he's butching.
Burden of Proof. You know what I mean? That was a tough album. What's a King to a God on there? That's my track for real. And Conway the Machine from King to a God. Like the whole clique, they have been consistent and has not let down with the quality. So I just had to give it to everybody within the Griselda clique. So salute, definitely.
Who do you enjoy the most? Because I really enjoy Conway.
It's always a battle between Conway and Benny the Butcher. But when it comes to like the style and flair, I'm a Westside Gun guy. And I mean, like the ad libs, all that stuff. So it's hard to choose.
Did you hear his? We're gonna get to that topic too later in this. But did you hear like when he was at the McDonald's drive-thru? And he was like playing around, like, let me get a double cheese, baby. Hold the pickle, boo, boo, boo. Oh man,
how about y'all having your own conversation? I'm just over here like, wow, don't
listen.
Know
like, what's going on?
I don't know what's happening.
Shout out to my my former co-host Popcorn Fairy. She just put a clip out there, like when me and Nick were talking about rap all the time. She was just like, I don't really know, man. Like this ain't for me, but. As far as R&B is concerned, R&B made a headway this year as well. So let's do it. Though. Look at Taryn with the graphics, some smooth
the smooth flip.
Like, I
mean, that's what we do. Get your virtual bit productions over here. What? I mean, hit us up.
You better. This is marketing 101. But go ahead.
R&B album of the year. I definitely was probably in my R&B bag favorite. More this year. I know Tiffany loves this section.
I stay in this bag. I reside. I live here, pay rent there.
That rhythm and blues, baby. And I ain't talking about the blues. I mean, there was a lot that came out this year. I know Party Next Door came out this year. Kiana Lede came out this year. I feel like Black came out this year as well.
Yeah.
There was a lot that came out this year.
Savannah Christina, Savannah Ray. Those two Savannahs are really good. There's a lot of low-key artists, R&B music came out.
So many. My favorite was, I had two favorites. The album, or is it the album or is it the album, Tiana Taylor? I think
it's an album. It's an album.
It's an album.
The Tiana Taylor album we've been waiting for, that came out this year, and that's been on repeat. Concrete is probably one of my favorite songs probably ever. Like that I love that song through and through. There's a few on that track for sure that stayed on my Serato, but I really enjoyed Division. I'm using her feelings. That's been something that through and through I could play all the time. There's a great Jesse Riaz feature on there.
Okay.
it's really it's what they do. Like, you know, it's really it's a sound that is easy to listen to. It's not too much of crossover. It's just like we sing. This is what we do. He works on the keys. I work on the vocals, and I just enjoy that through and through.
Cool. I need to listen to that.
Well, I'm saying since you already said Tiana Taylor, you know, that was my album. So
you can pick that too.
You know, I'm gonna have to go with a single. So I'm gonna go with "A Heard Damage." That is like one of my top songs that I listen to. I'll vibe out, you know, when I'm enjoying my legally prescribed cannabis. You know,
you gotta say that.
You're legally described. Yeah,
legally prescribed. Prescribed, not describe the types of.
You know what? We're not gonna go there. We're not.
He's about to get the bars. I mean, like with that, it's just like her voice is just velvety and it just flows over the beat. I mean, so that's the song that, you know, I just throw that on, you good, and then I ain't gonna lie, "Hit Different" was my shit too for a little bit. So.
Oh, okay.
SZA and Ty Dolla $ign.
Jersey.
Yep.
Yes, Jersey.
Yep.
SZA.
Yeah, Maplewood.
Maplewood.
My boyfriend loves Damage as well, Taryn. His feelings are very much so the same as yours. For me, it was hard to pick an album of the year because there's been so much good music. But I know the one that stood out to me the most, the one I know that's definitely in my most played of 2020 is from Janae's album Chilumbo. That album is like, it's such a beautiful album. It keeps me calm, and knowing that she's someone, her and Big Sean, knowing that she's in a relationship with somebody that they both kind of struggle with their own mental issues, their own life struggles. I like to hear music like that because that's what I'm going through right now. And I feel like it's a continuous cycle. So I know some people don't really favor her music per se. Sometimes they feel like it's sort of similar. It's kind of like, I don't know, hippie, weed head, you know, drink, smoke, chill, vibe, veg out, all that kind of stuff. But like, to me, that's kind of like, you know, it's my type of music too. My friends always say my music is get high music. I'm like, well, I don't know what that's supposed to mean. I like to be, you know, calm and serene and like good when I do stuff. I don't necessarily like a lot of blasting, you know, in my ears. So I shout out to her. Speak is my favorite song. It definitely listed as one of my songs of the week for one episode. But go ahead, sis, and Pussy Fairy. Like, how could you not? How could you not? How could you not?
Man.
Like, come on.
I wasn't ready. I wasn't
ready either when she came out, but I was like, I don't know how I feel about this song. And then of course we all fell in love with this. So that's my album.
Oh, you can relate.
I can. Yes. I was like, I don't know.
I mean, with your man having the cornrows, he kind of, you know, resembled the Big Sean for a minute.
Yeah. Look.
So, you know, you just playing our house over there. You Janae over there.
Listen, you better cut it. You said my man got. You said his locks?
No. Sorry, locks. My bad. Thank you for correcting me.
Yeah, and I was like, I'm like, when my man get praised? I'm not. Listen, I got one man.
Are you trying to get her caught out here?
Some nonsense. Whoa.
Like, who that?
My bad. My bad. Let me not.
Tell my baby, you ain't mean that.
I don't know your situation.
You know what? Let's go to the next topic.
My fault. You know.
Yeah. I'm like, wait a minute. He said great.
So low key. Let's keep it low key.
Yeah, let's keep it low. See, now you subbing. What's good with you, man? Now you're making this look as, babe, I'm gonna call you right after.
I was just saying
you call me. You know what it is. Don't listen to them.
I was just saying you can relate. I feel like you know y'all resemble the Big Show and Janae. I was talking about Lowkey album of the year, guys. Man. Let's keep it low key. Let's keep it discreet. There was a few for me, but Childish Gambino, aka Donald Glover, his real name. You know, he did drop an album this year. I know it's news to some people because it was such a weird rollout. You know, one week it was there, the next week it wasn't. And then he finally decided to release it out. There was no album cover. There was just a blank white, you know, slate, similar to Pusha T when he dropped his album. 3/15/20 is what it's called. Untitled was what it was before, but like it's 3/15/20. I guess that's the date, you know, that actually did drop, you know, on all platforms. But I really enjoyed that album, like very much so, even without the names of it. You know, I loved it so much that like I listened to it. I'm like, all right, what's the repetitive word here? All right, I'm gonna name this. We only got like the features. I know 21 Savages is on there. I feel like I don't know if Playboy Cardi's on there or not, but 21 Savage, Ariana Grande. But we only got features and timestamps. But I really enjoyed like the latter of the album. But it kind of sounds like an End of the World album. to be for real. Like there's definitely different mixed emotions in there. Under the Sun, I think that might be the name of it. He never named it, but Under the Sun is my favorite track on there. It's like towards the end, but it's a great album, Childish Gambino.
Well, I like how you created your own names for these songs, and I think something's cool about music. No, for real, because I think something's cool about music when something doesn't have a label like we're used to. We kind of create our own way of identifying it. When it could just be like, what was it, Times or whatever he put it, like 12, like something, whatever.
Yeah.
Well, that's kind of like reminiscent of what they used to do back in the 90s. Like, I know with Wu-Tang, and they would just name the tracks, just random stuff, like The What with Method Man and B.I.G., and there's no what in there.
Right.
So
that's true.
That's why I like, just taking it back like that,
Or remember the Untitled tracks at the end of like the Blueprint, and it was like a 12-minute song, but it was hidden. It was the hidden track, so it'd be like 7 seconds of silence, and it'd be like boom, a whole song.
Facts. But for me, I'm gonna say Lowkey album of the year. I got 2. You know what I mean? I don't like following rules, so it's all good. So when you need that energy, when you just feeling good, you just out here just partying. You know what I mean? Ty Dolla $ign. That's the perfect party music. I ain't gonna lie. One time, when I was out here in the streets, just exploring, dipping my head in the streets, seeing what's going on. Nothing Like Your Exes was my song, but then he got a little ballad on there with Music Soul Child. Okay. It's Your Turn. And that's yeah.
That's Tish Hyman, that Music Soul Child, man. I heard some low key hate from Tiffany. What's going on?
Wait.
She said $10. She's like,
I didn't think you heard me. I didn't even think you heard me. I thought it was like, okay, that's
no, I mean, like, it's like I was trying to dip my head out like a little bit in the street, see what's going on. It come in traffic.
It is what it is. Ty Dolla $ign's not a bad artist to me. It's not that I can't stand him. I just don't like all of the things he does. Sometimes I get tired of some certain dudes singing the same thing. He's very
a little repetitive.
Talented. He does.
Yeah.
He's very talented. He's shown that he's
it's smooth talented. Music.
Yeah,
it's smooth
but
music
I need to be like a little less of a hater sometimes and just be like, all right, fine, let me see if I find something I like.
I got something else for you, right? So the second one is Masego, Studying Abroad.
Oh, you got it. There we go.
There we go. See, I got you, Tim.
There we go.
But with that album, Masego is very talented. Plays all the instruments, just smooth. Right. Has a lot of international vibes on there too. So I enjoyed it a lot. Short little album, but it makes its point.
The thing I love about where we are now is that people do have interviews all the time. And like, I know he was on the Joe Budden podcast and I heard him talk and I'm like, he's hilarious. Like he's really witty and smart. And I'm like, super. That is, even as a man, that's attractive. I'm just like, you know what? I'm investing in you because like you giving me something else.
No, Masego is very different. And I think people of any identity need to be comfortable feeling that kind of like connection with an artist. It's like that's what they're here to do, build a connection. Like, and when you're trying to do anything, even in the entrepreneurial spirit, you're trying to build a connection of the people. Like, it doesn't matter who's giving it. It's like, do you connect with it? And I connect with that man on so many levels. He is just so smooth for real. I just saw a post that Ari Lennox made on Twitter basically saying that Masego's the reason why she finished a song Up Late. He told her to finish that song. And I was like, Up Late is a good ass song. And I'm like, so not only are you dope on your own, you're helping other people. That's why I fuck with them heavy. I really do fuck with them heavy.
That's the thing. Like when you live authentically and genuine, then people just vibe with you, and it just makes you, to stand out. But my fault, I didn't mean to cut you off.
Oh no, you're fine. I would say for me, my low key album of the year would have to be Kiana Lede's album Kiki. I really enjoyed this album. I had a conversation with myself in my head the other day. Since, I don't have my episode to do it, I was like, this girl is so young. And I feel like, as I get older, the music, changes, the voices change, the people change, then they get younger and younger as it naturally occurs. And I was like, I don't ever want to be so out of touch with music just because of age. If the message is there, I want to hear it from whoever's mouth it comes from. So for me, Kiana Lede is like, I don't care. She's like 22 years old. And what made me feel really old was when I found out that she won a Kids Bop competition. I was like, God damn, how young is she? I was like, my God, a Kids Bop? It sounded like that wasn't too long ago. You saying it's like 2-3 years ago?
Right.
She's in her early 20s, and so the album is really dope. She has some really great features. Moneybagg Yo's on there. He really grew on me since Megan brought him to the lights. B is on there, Black's on there. So just a really nice, tight album from a really dope R&B artist. Oh wait, can I ask something real quick? I know it's not on our list of things, but like, can we name maybe one low key artist or a couple low key artists that we really just name them, just rattle them off if you have them in your mind? Because I feel like that's why there's so much like who's who. I don't know who these people are. When you hear them, you're like, damn, they had so much good music. We don't know who they are.
Well, I'll give a resource, right? So I hear about all my low key music from Selection. It's a radio station, and they got different songs, a lot of international stuff, and they actually show you the whole track list total of everything. And they have about 400 episodes, and it's about 3 hours each. And they release every week, so a limited source of music. So Selection, definitely. Yeah.
So I'm just going through my Songs on Spotify, gang. I might go to Tidal soon. You know, we gotta support Black.
I'm thinking about it too.
Yeah, I'm thinking about it. They're getting better over there. I've been listening to the Friend Zone podcast, and you know, what's her name? Hey Fran, hey. Her music selection is pretty good. You know, I don't agree with everything, but she put me onto this artist called Blood Orange, and I actually enjoy his or they music. I don't even know if it's a group or not, but I enjoy the music from them, and I've been enjoying Baby Rose as well. You know,
I do enjoy her too.
Very strange slave voice.
Threw me off when I heard it. I was like,
yeah, you heard me, Taryn. She sounds like a slave.
Slave voice. Huh?
She sounds like a slave.
She does give very. She gives her voice is very deep, and she has a lot of baritone, so she gets very like spiritual. It really comes off very spiritual for real.
And it's just like such a juxtaposition to her frame. It's like,
oh yeah,
I wouldn't see you sounding like that at all.
It shocked me too. I was like, whoa, but I love that too.
Yeah, there's a song called "Show You," and I really enjoy that song a lot. I gotta give big up to NPR Tiny Desk because they put me on to a few.
They are doing the thing.
Yeah.
They really
that should be a whole segment in itself. Because like that Wale Tiny Desk, I've watched that several times.
Yeah. Oh, let me add on somebody real quick because I said Selection, so I gotta say Flo Milli, my man, of course, because she be killing it. She's low key, and honestly, give a couple more years, she's gonna be killing it when it comes to the rap stuff. Her and Meg Thee Stallion need to do something together, definitely. Just out here killing it lyrically.
I would say for me, real quick, just the ones that I think are real key. Ziamata Jennings. I bring her up whenever I can. She's a young singer, R&B singer, but I loved her album. It was beautiful. That she came out with because it took her like 3 years to come out with this one. So shout out to you. I mentioned the Savannahs earlier. I do like Tiana Major 9. I think she's amazing. Mariba, how do you pronounce her name?
Mariba, I think.
Mariba. She's good too.
I think she's a part of Spillage Village, no?
Is she?
I mean, she was there, but I don't know if she's like a part of them. But
okay.
Yeah. Shout out to everybody out there. Flatbush Zombies, gang. Let's get into some video stuff. You know, let's get to some Netflix docs.
Yes.
You know, I know Tiff is all about that. Just a handful. I mean, listen, I went through the whole year. You know, scrolled through my whole Instagram, scrolled through my whole Netflix, you know, recent activity for the whole year. Because, you know, you come down to October, November, you forgot what you did in January.
Yeah.
You know, so
I watch so much stuff, I'll be forgetting.
So much.
Lord.
You know, so I have to go back and backtrack. And, like, I have to remind myself, I'm like, man, there was really a few docs that I saw. One that was a big thing, and I was late to it, so it probably came out a little bit before, but The Mind of Aaron Hernandez, Killing Her Inside. Aaron Hernandez, for people who don't remember, he played for the Patriots. He got them some chips.
He really did. he really did.
And he was out there, you know, scoring. You know, he was
murdered on the field and off the field.
Come on,
me.
I had to take that one.
You had to take that one. I wasn't even gonna take it. That's all you. Man, he oh man.
Y'all aggravating.
R.I.P.
Yes.
We've been.
Oh yeah, I forgot that.
We've been. Yeah, I was traumatized even watching that thing, man. Like he killed his friend, hid the body, all kind. A whole lot happened, man, and it was ridiculous that somebody could be so profound at his job and still end up being a murderer, you
Ain't
know,
that crazy?
and almost getting off.
Yeah.
He was this close to getting off.
Facts. And I think too, that's like also like we don't talk about it, but you know the whole CTE stuff. Like a lot of people in the MFL are really encouraged to use that rage. However, you know, they have that rage with them all the time. So that was something definitely was interesting to me because, like you said, like, you can never tell he was doing anything off the field that was negative or on that level. Based upon his performance and the charisma that he showed and all that stuff too. So, you know,
you gotta
that's
be
one
careful.
Thing you never know.
You gotta watch. I mean, sometimes there's no signs. You gotta watch for that. Tiger King, that was huge.
Oh my God!
You know, we heard that Nicolas Cage may end up playing him in the biopic whenever that comes.
The perfect person for that role. Yeah. I mean, excellent. I love good casting.
Yeah,
I should have been a casting director.
You should. I could see that
because I'm really in particular about my casting.
Tiger King was, you know, the bee's knees, so to speak. It was crazy. It was traumatic. It was drama. You know,
all of that.
I remember the scene of, like, you know, the tiger coming at him and he had like some beef jerky on him or something like that, and Tiger was like, "What's that smell?" I smell like, yeah, he had to shoot him. Like, get goddamn, like, I ain't gonna do the accent. I ain't gonna do it. Don't F with cats. That was another one that I watched.
What a documentary!
Yeah, it was creepy. It was creepy. I don't really care for cats at all, but man, I don't want, you know, nobody innocent deserves to die like that, or, you know, to be tortured, and, you know, and it wasn't even a problem until he started going to a human being. You know, so it just shows you that people have time on their hands. I mean, clearly, Facebook, you know, they found this dude and got him arrested and detained or whatever, and yeah, but that's really about it for me. You know, I watched those 3 docs; those are the biggest ones. My next guest needs no introduction. I'm always a fan of Dave Letterman doing his thing, introducing us to people that we know, Dave Chappelle's and the Lizzos of the world. But how about y'all? You know, Taryn, how about you?
So I got to Social Dilemma. That was one that I really liked a lot. Pretty much, you know, it really showed how they're using psychology to keep us attached to our phones and addicted to these apps, which is like, it's scary because you can see what's going on right now, you know, especially like with older generations. People that have phones for like 60 years, now I see them just glued to their phones all the time. So that's something scary, definitely. And then there was another one called Crip Camp. And it was about the disabilities movement. So, you know, people with disabilities back in the 60s, 70s, and really the fight that they made to get the rights they deserve. They still are oppressed today, but that was very interesting to me because I never knew anything about that or thought about it, you know. But, you know, with me being in mental health advocacy, that's a different part, you know, of my journey, just learning about what other people's going through. So Crip Camp was definitely dope. So if you haven't checked it out, please go ahead and look at it.
Crip Camp is what it's called?
Yeah.
Wow.
And I would have thought it was about something else.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm looking like, so you talking gangland?
Right.
Is Iceland? Who produced this? Okay, Social Dilemma was definitely on mine as well. I love that documentary a lot. It put a lot of things into perspective for me. And additionally, after I did my social media fast too, I think I was telling you before, like I put all my Instagram, Facebook, all those social media apps are like screens away. And I know for some people it's like, well, all you gotta do is swipe. But we are very lazy, and I am very lazy. So the thought of something not being readily available to me, I want to play on the tricks that have been taught to me. I want to play on those tricks. Like if I don't see it, I don't want it. So if I don't want to eat ice cream, I'm not going to look at ice cream. If I don't want to, you know, eat chocolate chip cookies, I'm not going to look at them. So if I don't want to be on Instagram and Facebook as much, I don't want to see it. And I want to make it a little bit more challenging for myself to get there so that if I want to get on it, if I get there, I want to be there. And my screen time has actually gone down because of it too.
All right.
This is super helpful. They put me on some game over there. I was a little traumatized, honestly. If you haven't seen it, go see it, please. I would say for me, American Murder, The Family Next Door. Like, so when you're talking about Aaron Hernandez, what was I about to call him? Aaron Hernandez, his situation, you're like, you would never know that this is what he was doing off the field. This family, you would never think. And spoiler alert, if you haven't seen it, like you would never think that this man would have murdered his entire family. And then have the I'm gonna use the word that Shelby taught me last time, the temerity to go.
I see my hair.
I've been using that word.
I got 2 master's degrees. I don't know what that means. Okay. I never heard that one.
If I wasn't hooked up to these wives, I'd spin around this chair with that.
What that means, so I can use that.
It's the same thing as audacity. It's another word of saying audacity. Just another way of saying it. She's like, she felt like audacity was used up. Shelby in the book club. Follow my good sis. Thank you for that word. I love me a good word. So I say it's the temerity for me.
It's the temerity for me, girl.
Temerity. Monty, shut up. So like to come on here and say you don't know where your entire family is, but to know that you murdered every last one of them, including your children and your unborn child. I really felt like, I know most people don't want to see it. My boyfriend was like, why did you show this to me? Like, why did we watch this?
Hey, girlfriend of mine, Asia, how dare you?
Look, sis, we gotta let them know, like, I think what was a reminder for me to kind of pay attention to my partner. And I always try to look, the Virgo in me, always trying to think a little bit deeper, but like pay attention to the signs your partners are giving you. Pay attention to the ways that they are changing, because that man, all he did was get fit and lose weight, got some new pussy and was like, my God, men lose their minds. Men are really, they wild when they want something and they feel like the walls are closing in.
Do you think there's a better way that she could have went about anything? Because she would just texting her friend like, "Oh my God, he's not having sex with me. He doesn't like me. His new woman." Like she wasn't.
I gotta think about like this. What's the saying? How the saying go? Happy wife, happy life. What that got to do with me? Happy life, happy wife, right? So if you want if you want to have a happy life, you have to have a happy wife. And I was telling my boyfriend this last night. Y'all want us to go through the life altering, life risking event that is giving birth, but you don't want to take care of me. You don't know that when women give birth to children, they're being postpartum or dealing with postpartum for years after. And then you want them to have more kids on top of that. So you had a woman who's 3 years postpartum and then pregnant again. Like, when sis ever really want to get a break? So when they say happy wife, happy life, they mean that. So if you're not ready to make somebody a happy wife, you need to move on to life.
One dope thing I heard from, I don't know if you remember BT, The Basement, with Cousin Jeff, dude with the dreads back in the day, from Rap City. So he said that a woman is 3 things: mother, partner, and lover. So you have to be able to take care of those 3 different areas, and that's how you're successfully doing the thing when it comes to providing for your lady and all that stuff. So, but
I didn't mean to take it there, but I'm just saying, like, if I'm gonna watch something, I need to pull. Listen, everything I watch, I gotta pull something from. Right now, and I got a new show for the best.
But I would just like how could she have gone about to survive? Because like. She wasn't noticing anything except him just not being really there for her, and just like he's not really affectionate with me anymore. Like he was just ghosting her. He was just like, So what else could she have done to prevent that?
I mean, there's nothing to do to prevent it. It's all about her. How do you want to feel, sis? How do you?
I got you.
And you know what? You gotta do what makes you feel happy. So if making you feel happy is packing up them kids and rolling out, sometimes we gotta pull up our big girl panties too and make a life saving decision.
You have to tie it in for me. Thank you.
Sometimes we just have to be smarter and be better decision makers and not just think about ourselves, especially when we got kids. I just saw a post just now come on my phone about a lawyer who shot and killed his wife on Christmas Day and then killed himself. Like you never really know what people are going through, and that's why you just got to be really, really careful with your mental health, especially here on out and dating here on out. Y'all be careful, because if anybody leave 2020 talking about something they good, they ain't need no help, they ain't got no therapy, they ain't whatever. I might need you to date somebody brand fucking new. But we're talking about movies. My bad.
They didn't tell you. They didn't tell you. Podcast telling you. She telling you.
That's where I go there. Protect ourselves, sis. Protect us.
That's a good conversation. We can have that later on.
Yeah. You're right though. We talking about movies. Let's move to best binge.
Yes.
All right.
I'm excited for this one.
Best binge podcast, well, not podcast, but I guess we should. That's a whole nother situation.
Why we add that?
Yeah, best binge TV series. I'll just go through my list real quick. Haunting on Bly Manor and Hill House. I enjoyed both of them. I was introduced to horror this year, thanks again to my girlfriend, and I really enjoyed both of it. I just like story and narrative, and they had a lot of it there. This whole summer,
keep it real though.
What's up?
Were you over there cut up when the scary stuff come on? Like,
were you jumping? Were you jumping? Like,
the thing is, I'll consume it, and then like I have a delayed reaction. So a couple of days later, I'll start thinking about it. I'm like, yo, whoa. What was?
After she gone, right? Like I gotta be strong. Like
shout out to your girlfriend for put you on a horror. I find a lot of men do not fuck with horror, but a lot of women do. So
I told her I gotta take a break a little bit. I'll come back, but I gotta give me a week or two. The Last Dance and Insecure, I watched all that this summer, and that was a great. That made for a great quarantine, to be honest. Like every Sunday I was downstairs, projector on, lights low. Let's get this '90s nostalgia with Michael Jordan, Pippen, and everything. Tell me all the ins and outs, all the woes. Let's get this Insecure back with Issa and Lawrence, and let's go on. Lawrence Hive, you already know what it is. let's get this going. Nathan coming back. Let's get this bipolar stuff addressed, and it was a great season. And that one episode, I know Tiffany, I know I'm already talking about that one episode with Lawrence and Issa. That was just a love fest of. That was just the most lovely episode I ever saw in my life. Like
that was the closure episode, right?
I was so romanced.
Me too. They took me on a fucking fairy tale.
Yeah, I got back into my girlfriend's bed because that made its way back to Netflix. The Game as well.
Okay.
The Disastrous Life of Psyche K. That's for my anime people out there. I was really late to You, but I enjoyed that. Who Killed Malcolm X? Love Is Blind. That was a thing. And The Undoing is where I capped it off at.
Yes, The Undoing is good. White Mess. Issa Rae said it. Not me. White Mess. It's beautiful. Yeah, I enjoyed it.
Definitely.
What about you, Tiff?
Oh, me? Oh, they said Tam, my bad. So I am just starting a new show to binge, and there aren't many episodes to it, and I'm low-key upset about it, but it's called Rectify. I don't know if you ever heard of it before, but it's about a man who was on death row for nearly 20 years and was let out on because DNA kind of ruled him out or something, but it's kind of talking about the back end of like life for people who come out of the prison system and kind of what adjusting is like. He went in when he was like 18 years old and came out at, damn near 40. You don't know cell phones, you don't know technology. And so I love to see kind of how this man is kind of like growing up and trying to get 20 years of learning under his belt, but in a small town community in the South, that's kind of like, why the hell is he out? Why is he not dead? He had 5 stays of execution. How did he get 5 stays? And how was he still here? So, he kind of like beat the odds. So it made me think like, damn, I don't think people really think about what happens when people like this are released and what happens in the community. But the whole premise of it is like this man could potentially be innocent. I don't know because I haven't seen all of the series, all the seasons, but it's really grabbed my attention. And I don't think a show has done that in a really long time. And it came out like in 2013. It's only 4 seasons, like maybe less than 40 episodes. Y'all can get through it. But I think you would enjoy it.
What's it called again?
Rectify. RECTIFY. Yeah, I was really stunned when I saw the first episode and it made me cry. I said, "Who am I? What happened?" Like these shows don't do that to me outside of This Is Us. So I was like, wow, I felt deeply connected. I think also because I saw Just Mercy. And Just Mercy kind of put weight on me very heavily after seeing it. So any show that has that kind of undertone or that kind of plot, it's always going to affect me. Tiger King was good.
That came out this year?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just Mercy?
Just Mercy?
Okay.
No, Just Mercy. It did come out this year?
I guess so.
2020. I don't know. It's a blur. It's a blur. Tiger King was real good. I love me some Greenleaf. I love Church Mess. I do enjoy some Church Mess. The Queen's Gambit. I don't know if y'all have seen The Queen's Gambit yet, but it was such a dope freaking show. I mean, so well done. It's beyond, like, I think that might be one of my favorite shows or my favorite show of 2020. If I could say period of anything I've ever seen. I just saw a post about it last night that said the person who wrote this script had it in his hands ready to be produced by someone for 30 years. So, a really good show, very well casted. I know I said before, I should have been a casting director because I could love when someone makes me feel that they really strung out on drugs or whatever. So it was good. Manhunt, Deadly Games, the Richard Jewell story. Oh my God. That story took me out. To know it was based off of a real man who was accused of bombings at a festival. He wasn't responsible, but neither the government nor like a news article, newspaper, whatever, would apologize and say that, we had the wrong guy. Typical, right? But what angered me, as things typically do, is like, do white people not see how the government even says "fuck you"? Do y'all not see why we need change? Do y'all not see that this man, and he passed away at like in his 40s? He went to his deathbed, to his grave, with the world thinking he has something to do with it, with people, with our government, not even sitting here being willing to admit that they were wrong. So that right there, it threw me off. But again, y'all know I like something with
it was a Summer Olympics.
Yes, was it?
Yeah.
Oh yes.
Yeah, so
big deal. That's why it was so big. That's right. What
Olympics was that?
Atlanta.
There you go.
Oh yeah, I forgot that did happen. Okay.
1996 Summer Olympics. Yeah.
And our government ruins people's lives. And I know we're going to talk about politics soon, but it just that angered me, and I can't believe like that story's out there, and white people still thinking that Trump and them got their back. Whatever. Rounding out with the movie, the series Unbelievable. I watch a lot of deep shows, y'all, if y'all don't know. But this one was about a young woman who was essentially raped, sexually assaulted, and was not believed when she brought it up, and when she presented information, because she was just very disoriented. And we all know that when people are victims of sexual assault, rape, anything like that, that they're at their most fragile state. So it kind of showed, how she was treated versus other women who were raped and assaulted by the same person, how they were treated. And it was, oh my God, it was like day and night to see how this young woman who was, on her own, halfway house situation sort of, and no one to really look out for her, versus all these other women who have resources, who have people who would love her and support, and kind of showing like, there's all types of women that exist who suffer from this, unfortunately. So I think it was an excellent movie. I think anybody who works in law enforcement or anything like that should take a look at it. And honestly, any person, period, men especially, should look at this movie. And when we say believe women, we mean believe women. I shouldn't have to beg you to believe me. I shouldn't have to, you shouldn't have to look at my story to say, oh, it sounds shaky to know that I just experienced something so traumatic, so life-changing, that it will never, ever leave me. So of course I don't know what the fuck I'm saying, the fuck I'm doing. So get yourself together with that one. And then Love is Blind. That was good. I'm done.
I love that Janae Aiko was in your life.
What?
you gotta find that piece somewhere, because it's a lot to deal with.
I tried to get this all in one. I'm sorry if I talk so fast, but like I get so passionate about this, and let me tell you, my boyfriend gets the brunt of it. So this is just a peek of what he goes through.
Karen, how about you?
So I had this year, I've been grinding, so I haven't really watched stuff. So if I'm saying your name, y'all can throw me a bag or something like that. Not me, but anyway, Lovecraft Country has been a show I was watching. It's dope. It's about Black people and magic, because we are magical people. Set back in the day, around Black Wall Street times. And it's talking about, Black people with magic and white people with magic, and, pretty much just how they stole the shit and took it over. So, it's dope historically. And then also, it has, Journey Smollett on there?
Yes, Journey.
The
only Smollett we acknowledge.
The good Smollett.
Exactly. So that was a dope one. Go check that one out.
Not Juicy Smouye.
Not Juicy.
Thanks. Then Snowfall was dope. That is about, how the CIA brought coke into the country and used Rick Ross, not the rapper. He stole the actual person's persona, but Rick Ross out in L.A., California. Actually, I don't know where. Don't try to come for me out there. Yeah. But from California, and just that whole story. So it's dope. I like it. That's actually directed by John Witherspoon prior to him passing.
R.I.P.
Yeah, R.I.P. definitely. And I believe this is the last season that's coming up too. So I'm looking to that.
Oh, this is the last season coming up?
Last season coming up. That's going to be soon.
I gotta watch it then.
Yeah, it's going to be tough. And then my most recent show I found, Titans on HBO Max. So I'm a comic book head. Like, I like superheroes and all that stuff. So if you ever saw Teen Titans, the cartoon version of it, it's the real life version, but it's way darker.
Really?
So you talking about like, you got Robin in there, but he don't fuck with Batman. He's like, fuck Batman, and he's killing people. So like, it's one of those shows, like, I love darker stories when it comes to superheroes. So, check out Titans on HBO Max. It's super dope, definitely.
That seems like it's been DC's, that's been their clutch right now. It's just like, let's make this darker, because we can't really compete with Marvel and all the longevity they have. But DC has been able to find that lane of just making it dark.
DC is good. I can rely on them for shows, not so much for movies. Yeah. Whereas with Marvel, sometimes the shows can be like, but definitely DC strong suit is their shows and whatnot. So
that's
always
true because my cousins love Supergirl, and I'm like,
I don't like that one. I don't like that one. I don't.
I'll
tell you that the Flash is good.
Flash, that's my shit.
Really?
Let me tell you, my boyfriend was trying to play me because I told him I watched the Flash. He's like, why would you? I wouldn't even think you watched this show. I said, whoever is in the writing, and I have to find the writers to email them one day. It's the writing in the Flash that is so impeccable. It's ridiculous. He was like, he called me. He was like, Tiffany, who wrote this script? I said, exactly. He said, there's so many good gems in here, so many life lessons, and it's so relatable. The Flash is so good.
And they got Jesse L. Martin in there, baby. That's that old school Law and Order right there.
Yes,
so
that's what. How did you go wrong? And he's a main character. Come on now.
Yep. And I got another one for y'all too. Black superheroes, because it's all about that, right? Black Lightning. That's my shit, and it talks a lot about politics. And they got my boo in there, Nafisa Williams. What's good? How you doing?
She's fine. She's fine.
Philly.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
But yeah, that show is dope. And also, they're actually returning for the last season 2, which is very unfortunate. However, Painkiller, the dude that shoots out Venom, he has his own show coming up too, spinoff. So, hopefully we'll see some more spinoff shows because we need some more black superheroes on TV because, that representation is important. Right. Now, I mean, I was a Batman fan because that's the only one I saw out there. But, these kids got Black Panther, R.I.P., Chad Boseman. Now, I mean, they got just a whole bunch of dopeness. So, I'm just happy that we have that representation, but I really wish they keep it up. But, Black Lightning was one that I was checking out. So we're going to move on to the next part, and that is our politics portion. 2020 has been some shit. It's been a lot going on. So, with that, we got Trumpism. And honestly, I'm going to throw in Black Lives Matter with this too, because it's all tied together anyway. Trump has really brought out the roots of America, which is racism. Talking about make America great again. When was it great for everyone? When was it great?
So, come on now.
Exactly. So, with that, we saw the rise of the Proud Boys, other right-wing groups and all that stuff that necessarily the media didn't talk about, but they have felt empowered, and it's all because of y'all man's Trump, not my man's. I don't know him like that. I don't rock with him, but definitely the fact that, they feel empowered and feel that they can do anything that they want to do. And, it's really, in my opinion, it feels like it's cultish now. It's cult culture because I'm still seeing MAGA 2020 signs around. I'm still seeing the flags flying proudly. And that's the thing, it's something where his impact is going to last long. And he is a similar leader to like Hitler was. So that's my concern. I'm scared that he may start a bigger movement after the presidency because of, lack of laws. And honestly, he's tapped in with the underworld or some shit, which I ain't going to talk about. But, yeah, that's been 2020 really. And of course, seeing the impact that it's having on a lot of groups. We have the people who are coming from their countries because they're being murdered from South America, all these places, and they're being thrown into immigration camps. Kids being left in cages and not being released to the parents. So, it's a lot of stuff that's going on under the Trump regime. And, I'm happy to move forward. I'm not going to lie. I'm a little still hesitant about Joe Biden and his intentions and Kamala Harris. But, 2020 has been the year of Trumpism and just all this stuff. So what do y'all think about, with this year in politics in particular when it comes to Trump?
Stephanie, you can start.
For me, I just think like I saw a post. I see a lot of posts lately that just been speaking to me. But I saw one that was just like, there's no such thing as borders. And I was like, yes, there really is no such thing as a border. It's an imaginary fucking line that we created with these imaginary fucking laws that people
just like race,
right? Just to separate us. Like, and I think it's just so crazy to me. And I'm like, so many things in this world can be universal. And it's just not because all it boils down is to money and greed. And that is literally, when they say money is the root of all evil, it is the root. It is the root. Deeply rooted issue. And it frustrates me because I'm like, that's all this is really about. At the end of the day, it's money. When we talk about defund the police, and it was like, oh my God, defund the police. What's it really about? Most of it's about money, taking that money and putting it towards something else. But money is still the problem. Nobody wants to let go of it. People want more of it. Right. And it's just like, do you not realize the system that they have created for us to all fight each other for money when they're up there eating their filet mignon, Grey Poupon? Like, I just don't understand, like, how we haven't taken everything and turned it on its head by now. Like, so many politicians have been saying, like, the laws that we have just need to be rewritten. And for me, it's like, I don't even think of that as a lofty or too big or heavy of a hard of an idea to, like, conceptualize. There's so many brilliant people in this world that they can come together to create laws or get rid of laws and just create standards, okay, that are across the board. And if it's really all about money, we can still have things like, for example, let me put it this way for the women out here. Feminine products, infant products, tampons, pads, all that stuff should be non-taxable. Honestly, women should have access to those things for free. And if I feel like if our government really was about it, something that's outside of our control, something that most of our bodies have to do on a regular basis, should be providing free tampons, free care, and free like ibuprofen, Tylenol, things like that for our needs. But they don't, because there's so much money in it. Because when half of your population of the world are women and they need ibuprofen, they need pads, why would you not tax it? How much money would
But Viagra is covered in their insurance.
All right, that's what and I was about to say that next too. Thank you, but Viagra is covered. Like, make it make sense to me, because it don't make none at all. So I'm just
old white man.
Oh, like, for real.
Old white man. That's what makes sense.
And so they create these different programs. Like, I'm in a program now so I could take some of my money from my check before taxes to go towards health things and like glasses, medical visits, co-pays. It goes towards all of that, but also for feminine products. So now I don't have to. I can save a little bit more money to give y'all more of my money, just to spend on it. So I felt like all of this is just rooted in money. There's so many examples that we can go on, but Black Lives Matter, that's on period. All of our Black Lives Matter in every shade and every way in which they identify themselves. That's it. Point blank period for me. But fuck Trump, fuck his supporters, fuck you if you voted for him. No, I'm not your friend, and if I probably already blocked you and muted you or whatever the case may be. I'm not sorry about it, and I don't feel like arguing with nobody about it. That's just how I motherfucking feel.
I really appreciate hearing that perspective, and that woman's perspective is super important now. We need to hear that. As far as I'm concerned, it's depressing, man. It really is sad to see the world crumble like this, and I mean, it did expose so much. I mean, things that we already knew as Black people, but that racism just came out head first, and it's just I always called it the most idiotic thing in the world. Like, it's just the stupidest thing in the freaking world. Like, it makes zero sense. You have nothing to stand on, nothing. And so I mean, it's a shame that happened. It's a shame that our politicians showed us that they have zero backbone. Whether they agree with him or not, they have zero backbone because, as you said, money rules the world. They scared to do whatever. He was firing people left and right, which is the craziest responsibility that he has. He's able to flex
and
that
no
muscle.
one's stopping him from this tantrum. Like, y'all don't see this going on around you. What's wrong? Y'all educated.
They threw the Obama reports right out the window to even prevent a crisis like this coronavirus, this pandemic. All that stuff was written up, and that's how great Obama was. That he was so into the future, like, yo, we got it covered. And Trump was so racist, blatantly racist, that he's like, he want to just get rid of everything this Black man ever did. Any little thing. The first week, I think he got rid of half the things that Obama.
Obama's porch is not even hanging in that White House. It's not even hanging. And y'all want to tell me this man not racist?
Ain't that some realization for your ass? That ain't even there. We don't.
Sick of it.
I think he's even trying to redo the healthcare and just put his name on it. It's the same damn healthcare.
He has literally 21 days. That's it. Let it go. 3 weeks.
I can only imagine what he's going to try to push through too, because we see with
from Florida, because he's in Florida right now too.
Yeah, because we see with the stimulus check stuff, like they playing around with people's lives,
and
$2,000, $600, but Mitch McConnell, decayed, fried looking ass over there playing around with people's money.
Ninja Turtle right there, and that's the problem. Is like Tiff said already, the money is a root of all evil. It tells you right now we're dealing with. They don't even want to give us $600.
Not even
that's and we don't, and that ain't doing nothing for me except going to some credit. But
that's it.
It's a shame that they think so little of us, and it's just been a hardship of looking at stuff, and I look at. I can't call it blessings, but there are instances where I'm like, okay, you weren't like my grandfather passed away before Trump, took office, and I sometimes be like, you know what, he wasn't supposed to see this. Kobe and Gigi, God rest their soul, they passed before this coronavirus took over. So like I try to find some shining lights of like people, they like the world does not need to see this. Like this is crazy that this is even going on, and it makes our government look like a joke.
It is a joke.
A big we're the last stock of the world.
We are, but we're also still the richest. So everybody, but you got to think about the white kids that go to these schools, and every time you see somebody like, how are they the CEO? They're stupid. Like it's the privilege and it's the money.
And you have to and you have to draw your foot in the sand, in some of these places, because listen, I love Smoothie King. Ain't the best place for you, but I love it, and I go there regularly on a Friday. Last time I went there, I saw the kid that was working there had a Trump mask on. I'm like, I guess I can't come here no more. Yep. Because you guys have really awakened so many people. And listen, that kid probably don't even know no better.
Probably don't.
Nope.
That's the
But that's what the privilege. Like, though. They like that people don't know any better. And I think we talked about it too. Like of all the people, yes, record numbers came out to vote, but there was still a third of the population that did not vote.
70 million, and there's 70 million that voted for him still.
And like a third voted for him, a third voted for Biden, and another third says to hell with all of this. Like you got a third of your country that doesn't even feel like it needs to vote, and nobody's really even attacking that issue. But you want to talk about voter fraud? My God, you got 70 million votes on the table. Why are you not worried about them, about why they didn't get out to vote? Who's really, really focusing on these 70 million people? Who's really going to make sure that we have, when it comes time, it's all of us voting. Everybody got putting their name in. It should be 210, whatever the number is, million.
And you got to realize, too, that there's not the educational piece, too. Like, you notice how they do not invest in education. They're constantly cutting down on the budgets. When you have people who do not think for themselves, it's easier to not direct them like they're sheep. So, that's one thing I really look at with government. Just every single year, there's cuts. But you see an increase in military budgets, increase in police budgets, all that stuff too. So,
stupid.
Our kids are sitting in desks with that they parents sat in, that they older siblings sat in. They reading books that are like, why? Why? Why do certain school districts have more access than others? Why does it take a school 10, 15, 20, 30 years to get the appropriate renovations that they deserve? When you talk about the kids, then they come to school, when they go into these places, they don't respect it. You're not giving them something to respect. You're treating them with a lack of it. Come on now.
And why are rich school districts getting the standard state funding that's reserved for communities of color that are within need?
At all. Why do they need the money? What's going on with the money? And you know what I will say too? What COVID really has done for some of these companies is kind of put a fine eye and like a magnifying glass on their money and where the money's been going. I'll tell you, at my school where I work at, it's a specific process now to request money. And if you want money for April, you better ask for it tomorrow. Because it takes months. I'm dead ass. I'm not even lying.
Yeah.
Like it took somebody put a request in for October in like August, it got approved in November. And by the time the event,
I'm glad you brought it there though, because we were going to COVID anyway.
Let's go. Sorry, let's get to COVID. Like, sorry.
Nah, and like COVID, like you said, like it has affected a lot of our budgets or whatnot, but also it affects the way that we live. Like I know for me personally, I don't hug family like that no more because of the fact that everything going on with COVID. It's been months. Even like with my people, I'm like, do I dab? Do I?
Word.
Oh, I've given out so many fist bumps.
Situation.
I see you.
Thing too. There's so many like people on the left side of this, on the right side of it. Oh, it's real, it's fake. But at the same time, it's like it's hard to be yourself because of the social pressures. When you're around people, like if you walk into a room and there's a whole bunch of people with no mask, and you have your mask on, it's kind of like you're looked at the one that's being unwise. So that's the negative side I see of it, but. Honestly, with COVID-19, it really has taught us how to be innovative and to pivot and adjust when it comes to life, because oftentimes, we think we have this plan And, God laughs at us, when it's time to execute it, or change it.
God, you got a plan and he'll laugh.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, exactly. You know what I mean? So I think that it's been great, especially for innovative stuff when it comes to creativity. Podclash, it's here because of COVID-19. You know what I mean?
Absolutely,
so, that's one of the positives of it, I see, really. But what about y'all? What do you think is the negative and positive, what y'all got from COVID-19 so far?
Podcasts have definitely boosted since since quarantine hit. Because you're in your house, everybody got equipment now. Everybody and their mama doing something. Everybody's cartoonified.
For real.
There's been definitely a lot of positives and negatives. The fact that we didn't even think like. I'm just thinking to myself, like, we were talking, Taryn. I'm just thinking to myself, like, if you're in Atlanta and you're trying to be one of the safe ones, you probably looked at like a clown.
Yep.
Because nobody
Texas,
in Atlanta got the message. Houston, yeah, it's a problem. But man, the negatives, yeah, you definitely listen. Like I said, I mentioned her before. My girlfriend. I met her in February. This is before COVID even happened. We're getting to know each other, in the cold too, so it's real.
Word.
Listen, that's the strong part. Like meet somebody to win, they can hold it down.
Word, for real.
Yeah. And then March hit, and we were kind of cautious to be around each other. We didn't know what's up. Little by little, you start easing in. Like, okay, this is your circle now. It is just a growing and learning process. But you were. Listen, there was a lot of me just riding by to my grandma's house, waving from the window and, talking from my car phone, just like, hey, what's up? Can you hear me? Because you were scared to be around people. Eventually, I think a lot of young people, initially, black people, at least 95% of them ain't think they could get this. Because that was the rumor, and we gonna believe it because we don't want to even.
And that's what. And it makes me wonder: was that put into our minds on purpose, so that we do make ourselves more vulnerable, make ourselves feel like, oh, that's what they said. Like
that is a way to look at it.
Not that in because of course the jobs that we have. Makes us more susceptible and vulnerable. But like, I feel like them early days, like there was so much news. That's why even when you post on Instagram about COVID, it still have that COVID alert on the bottom.
Yeah.
You post something about politics, it says that politics. It's like, be informed on the right information, but people are just so lazy. But I don't want to cut you off.
No, it's fine. We need it all. It's so much to look at, and like you could always have a nefarious thought because
for real,
you could always bring it back to slavery. Like black people, they could wear and bear it. You could beat them; they don't feel no pain. So you could bring it all the way back there. So who knows who started that rumor? But
even with that, you got to think about strategy that has been used to take down black communities too. Like misinformation and infiltration was what took down the Black Panther Party. So that was all done and orchestrated by the government too. So it's one of those things of either there's not no conspiracy theory stuff. I'm no hotep, all right? But it's one of those things of you really have to think and look at the facts that has occurred throughout history. So I think that it's a combination of all that and just really distrust of our government in general,
And all that ties in. Sorry, and all that ties in, and like I said, you can have a nefarious thought, but it's relevant because it's happened before. And shout out to Dear White People because you talked about hoteps, and I just thought about that.
That episode was hilarious.
That was the best episode in the world. But the positives that is brought. What positive has I don't have to commute anymore. Like I'm able to work from home. A lot of people. It actually broadened that theory. Everyone's like, you know what, we could do this from our home. I'm working much better at home. It takes an abundance of people to get together to be like, okay, let's make this change. Like I've been extended for 6 months and 6 months and 6 months. Like I'm not going back till July. If that. So it definitely has changed the work landscape. It's enabled some flexibility. It lets you get outside. During the summer, like my job was like, hey, you're not at the desk anymore. You could take the time to take a walk, and cut your lawn, do whatever you got to do. Just So there is that flexibility. I know everybody doesn't have that. Especially Amazon and their workers. That is a modern day plantation.
Yeah, for real.
But there's a slither of positives, but it really has impacted everybody. What were you gonna say, Tiffany? Sorry.
No, you're fine. I just feel like white America has really captured onto the idea that for when it comes to us, Black people, when we see somebody running, we all run. So they kind of caught on to that, right? That we're quick to, in a sense, it's kind of like a mindset like off the strength. Like if everybody else running, I'm moving just off the strength that everybody else is going in one direction, and that kind of hurting us in that way, like you said too. Yeah. And I feel like they've kind of learned how to do that, how the best way to accomplish that. Really have found a way to accomplish it, and I feel like sometimes as Black people we go back and forth, and at least what I see on social media from the people I follow. Just going back and forth about like why some Black people are stupid for not wanting to get the vaccine and feeling being scared. Some Black people are crazy just wanting to go run or whatever. Like we all got to realize we have our own experiences with and there's a history with Black people and being vaccinated and being tested on things like that. And some people, especially those in the South, are very, very sensitive about it, are super sensitive about it, and rightfully so. So
we still not getting flu shots.
Come on, like some of us, I just got the flu shot for the first time this year because I live with my grandparents, and so I got to be really careful for them. And so I was like, I'm putting myself out there because it is what it is. But I'm trying to, you want us to trust something, but how can we trust something when you're not even ready to admit when you're wrong and when something falls and something happens? So when that one nurse, she was a white woman, got the shot and passed out immediately after, and said it was due to something unrelated. What makes us think that they're really going to fucking tell us that vaccine caused her ass to pass the hell out? What makes you think they're going to really tell us? Because they'll take it off the shelves. They'll take it off the market.
I've seen videos where there were doctors injecting empty
syringes. Yes, I have seen it too. I'm just like, is that even healthy to push air in my body? Like, so for me, it's just like the hysteria, the mystery, all of it is all, it all makes sense. If you create that kind of environment, that's the kind of environment that'll brew. But everybody wants to focus on like, well, misinformation. No, let's stop. Let's everybody come together and break it down. But that's too much like working together.
Yeah, not for you.
But the positive end is like, this podcast, how we connected. Absolutely. I've done more guest interviews than ever before. I thought I had to be in front of people in order to do them. And I felt like, doing it is going to be, disingenuous. It won't be authentic, but I felt like it's even better. We get to do that shit from home where we're most comfortable. Like, you know what I mean? So I just feel like it made that communication much more better. It kind of made us realize that we could have communicated like this a long time ago. And get you some stock in Zoom, because I don't feel like none of this is going anywhere anytime soon.
Not at all, for real. But one thing that has helped a lot of people out during this time frame.
Come on, Taryn.
Hey,
the weed,
smoke weed every day.
The weed.
But yes, we've been seeing a lot of more legalizations of weed and other drugs. So I know in New Jersey, because that's where we are from, Jersey.
Jersey.
But it's finally legalized, and I'm hoping that they'll be able to expunge the records of people who have been imprisoned from this. Not just in Jersey, just all around. But again, it goes back to money. The more people we have within prison systems, the more they can capitalize on us and make money off of our bodies and our labor, really. But I think it was Oregon or Colorado where they legalized all drugs, more so decriminalized. So not just you can go to a store and buy it. But, I think that it's a good move when it comes to being able to provide a more human rehabilitation stance when it comes to people who are addicted to drugs. Because, a lot of people have mental health issues who use drugs, to try to get that escape from reality, the escape from the pain, the trauma, whether they face. So, we shouldn't look at these people as, just the scum of the earth. They're people that need help the most care, but it's one of those things of that they have to be willing to want that help and care, though, So I think that it's a positive step forward for, helping out people who are going through something. But what are your thoughts on, like, the legalization of weed and, just everything else?
I'm for it. I'm happy that it's here. I know it's going to help a lot of people. And it takes a load off your mind. You ain't got to worry about that, no more, and getting locked up for something that is now legal. I mean, hopefully they figure out the laws and are able to release people that are already incarcerated because of this law that that is now changed and now reversed. And I know a lot of people have been participating for it and trying to get it done, but hopefully Black and brown people have the pretty much have like the first step in actually being able to get dispensaries. Like they need that advantage stage. They need to have that advantage. That will even some of the playing field. Like don't criminalize us, don't incarcerate us, and then make money off of it. Like that's a slap in the face, because that's basically
what's happening right now.
We were pioneering off this to begin with. So I mean, let's make it for real. We need more of the Biggs Burks, more of the Jim Jones, and get this thing going. But I'm happy. I'm here for it. I mean, I'm not a smoker per se. I've tried here and there. Baby Lungs Monty, that's what you called me?
Baby Lungs Monty. Baby Lungs Monty, not Black Lives Matter, BLM.
That's the other BLM. So I'm here for it, man. Like do your thing. Edibles is a thing. It's not my kind of thing, but I'm as long as it ain't hurt nobody, it is what it is. I know there's gonna be some kind of restrictions, and they gotta try to control it some kind of way, the same way they control any kind of substance, alcohol included. But as long as it's legal, that definitely is a big weight off people's shoulders.
Yeah. Make it legal.
Yeah.
What else is there to say? Like, there's nothing more to it than that. Weed being illegal is just like a way to incarcerate us, to put more people that look like us. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's literally a plant. But when you have crack, you have coke, you have heroin, you got rehab centers. Like the rehabilitation centers for a lot of these drugs. I'm like, so the hardcore drugs that could put you on your ass and put you 6 feet under, I can get rehabilitated for that. But the shit that just makes me loopy, want to eat Fruit Loops, want to eat, junk food, go to get a hoagie, go night. That's gonna put me in jail. And like that statistically speaking, that more Black people smoke marijuana and whatever the case may be versus all the other. Because I'm not putting up on my nose, nothing in my veins, right? So if I was going to do a drug, if weed were my choice, and that someone that looks like me would choose weed as a choice of a drug, what do you want to do? You want to make that illegal? Right. And then so there's no rehab for that, because you cannot rehabilitate from weed, because people aren't necessarily, it's not something that makes them addicted to it in a sense where, like, people just get stupid, maybe they can't function, but it's not going to sit here and have you out here going to go shoot somebody auntie and all them, have you out here crazy like that, you know what I mean? Unless they lace it.
It has to affect a different community to even get the proper representation. The whole opioid thing that
oh my God,
crack in the 80s put them in jail.
That's because their kids opioids now.
Opioids. That's why. Save my white baby.
Opioids now bring them to a rehabilitation center. Like, we ain't gonna rehab in the 80s.
And I be looking at some of these rehab centers, and these rehab centers are bougie as hell. Like they're top of the line, and there's money in that as well. So I'm like, yo, y'all don't realize everyone's just trying to make money off of you.
And that's the reason why it was outlawed in the very first place, because pharmaceuticals could not keep up with the applications that it had. Hemp was paper products, it was rope. You can make a lot of different stuff, so that's why it was outlawed. But it's coming to light. The studies are out there. It's literally a plant. There's no processing you have to do like drugs or alcohol, and necessarily, societies have been using this for centuries, literally. Like
literally,
it's been around,
and they don't like that.
They don't like that. They don't like that.
To quote Friday, God made this for you and me. It's from the earth.
It's from the earth. It knows when Eve was around.
R.I.P. Bernie.
Okay, so now it's my turn to, usher the conversation. I'm so excited. So we're into the cultural engagement part. So the first thing we want to talk about is this Megan and Tory saga. I feel like it took over 2020 a little bit. It was the highlight of every conversation for weeks and months on end, especially when Megan didn't want to say nothing, and then she came out and said something, and Tory didn't want to say nothing, and he was in McDonald's acting crazy with a goddamn dog, I think, and then he came out and said something, and then Megan came out with her album, and then she said, it was like a lot of he said, she said, he said, it was a whole lot of back and forth.
She killed that track though, I ain't gonna lie.
Who?
She killed him on that intro track.
She did. Yeah. You know what? It's so weird to me. This is why I said believe women, even when they don't say something the first time around. You should understand what that is about. But even towards all the fallouts, because let's be real, Megan has been falling out, or seemingly falling out, with a lot of people since this happened too. Not just her best friend, but like other artists. I think her Asian brat doll, whoever that girl is, they were going back and forth on some stuff. Like her old makeup artist, whatever. Everybody going through drama. COVID got everybody at home bugging out. So everybody's just like, I'm cutting off ties. I'm realizing who people really are, whatever the case may be. But for me, this story stuck out to me for 2020 for obvious reasons. About it's a shooting of a Black woman by potentially someone who was Black. It may not been Tory. It may have been her best friend, but somebody else Black done it.
Somebody done did that.
Somebody done did it. And you know, for me, Megan named who the person who was, and that's what I'm gonna go with. I'm gonna go with the fact that he did it. But I just think it's crazy how all the men reacted when this story first dropped. When she didn't want to say, she's like, I'm gonna keep my mouth shut or whatever. And then as soon as she opened her mouth and said something, it's like all the things that they were saying and the way they were like, I don't know, demonizing her and breaking her down and just talking crazy. Like, I was just like, y'all niggas are bugging for real. And like, there's no, like, where are all the decent men with common sense and like, where y'all at?
We were squandered. We were squandered by the loud roar of the ignorant men.
It's super. It's the levels of ignorance and like the firmness and wanting to plant your feet in it for me that really bothers me. It gets under my skin, and that's why I don't fuck with a lot of Black men like that. Not like if you in my circle, if I fuck with you and you're a Black man in my life, it's because you don't rub me the wrong way. You don't fuck with me the wrong way. Like you never made me feel no kind of way. I don't interact with anybody else who does because I don't got time for that. So for me, this story it was just more than just it being about two celebrities. I was just like, I look at this two people who were cool. Two people. This is a domestic violence situation. Like, how do I feel about that? So, what do y'all think about it?
I know for me, I looked at it as more so a lot of patriarchy within this influences wise. So, you know, it was a lot of gaslighting from Tory's side, and necessarily the behaviors weren't lining up. He wasn't saying that he didn't do it, but why would you put out a slander like campaign against Meg if you weren't guilty? So that was something there, and the fact that, you know, you're trying to manipulate the situation to save your ass. You know what I mean? That was something I'm like, yo, that's fucked up. And the fact that she didn't speak initially because she's trying to save you as a Black man. You know what I mean? We see what's going on out here, people getting shot and whatnot. So that was something, you know, it was very eye-opening, especially like with people I know personally. I'm like, you think that he didn't do it? Or you're not believing Megan? Or you're saying that she's lying or something like that? She has 2 bullets in her leg. Like, y'all saw the video. So, you know, it was very eye-opening to me. And it just really revealed that, you know, that due to patriarchy and the programming and conditioning of society, you know, men are always about themselves. It was a point of ego and pride. I mean, protecting reputations. That's why I saw it as.
I'm happy you brought up those 2 things. Behavior from Tory Lanez, that definitely showed a lot. And I'll be real. I mean, and listen, we all have podcasts. We all talked about it. We all discussed this at length, I'm sure. It's exhausting. It took over the year. Even now, like it feels like there's more evidence coming out, and you know, 1 week there's this, 1 week there's that. But the behavior from Tory definitely put a nail in his coffin, I think, so to speak. Listen, it was a great divide of Black men and Black women, you know, as Tiffany pointed out, and you know, it's kind of like finding out your friend is a Republican or finding out your friend is a Trump supporter.
Really? It's like,
you know, just like Terrence saying, like, oh, you think like this? Like, that's how it felt. It's like, man, that's a slap in the face. Okay. And listen, like I said, we talked about it in length. I've definitely had my words about it. I was more on the fence of just hearing both sides, regardless of what it was. You know, I was definitely in favor of Meg, what was going on, but just like it was the craziest story we ever heard. We ever came around. You know, 3 high profile people, you know, including the Kardashians.
Is it crazy to hear of a situation with celebrities and shooting being involved? I don't know if I want to. I'm not trying to make it seem like it's a common thing.
On both sides, the proponent and like the defendant and the plaintiff, like you know, it's. Yeah. I don't think we hear high profile on both sides all the time, and like just, and especially with Tory with quarantine radio, you know, kind of being at the height, and then Megan, you know, definitely.
He has a quarantine radio. What's that? It's like a podcast?
It was like in the beginning, they was on Instagram and pretty much just a lot of
It was his positive for quarantine.
Was it a lot of like the video girls, bottle girls,
a lot of those,
a lot of milk being wasted.
A lot of milk being wasted, a lot of dairy.
When Natalie Nunn did one, I did tune in for.
Yeah.
Listen.
I did see one of them.
There was Big Fendi was out there. There was a lot of people that out there was trying to do like the X-rated stuff on Instagram. But Tory grasped a lot of people's attention. He had the personality for it. So like for this to happen after that destroyed all that. I think he had a deal coming. Fumbled the bag.
YouTube bit bag.
And Meg has been at the height of everything and just has been progressing all through this.
And brands are progressing as well. They're not necessarily in the space to like put their name to a Tory. Like I don't know if you don't look at Chris Brown's quote unquote, and I wouldn't even necessarily call it a bounce back because he just bounced, not back, because he's nowhere where he once was. And imagine what Chris Brown would be if he didn't.
Oh no, Chris Brown would be Beyonce.
Right, he would be the Beyonce of whatever, and I think he's so frustrated because he's trying to break free. And now Tory, what you need to do is take a page from Chris Brown's book. I mean, granted, Chris Brown been doing some
Tory
stuff,
did the absolute opposite, and just he made a whole album about the girl.
It's weird.
And listen. I know there was a big divide. It's like you shouldn't even listen to the album. You shouldn't be putting money in his pocket. I was just in the world of just like I guess this is how he wants to express himself. Like I know there's a divide in that. It's just like how dare you like it was really messy on all levels. But I think at the end of the day today if you're riding with Tory, I don't know where your morals lie, but
like seriously, don't know
because there is a group of people, including some of my friends, that just like female as well. Like I just want to.
Yeah, I was just about to say.
I just want to like get to the trial and put it out there. But like you mentioned before, like the trial ain't always gonna tell you what's right and what's wrong.
No,
I mean, we know OJ killed that girl, but he got off. So I mean, it was just an exhausting thing, and I mean, luckily,
y'all see how it goes down.
And you might have lost some friends through this, to be honest.
For real.
Luckily, I was able to hold on to some of the friendships that I had, but it definitely put people in a certain light that you just had to like maneuver around.
Facts.
You got to be comfortable dropping people with stuff like this. Some people are like, y'all put too much stock in celebrity drama. No, it's more of a issue at hand. I'm not taking issue with the people or the celebrity issue. It's the problem of domestic violence here. It's the issue of a shooting here and how you react to it. Because if that happens to me, are you going to be making jokes about me? Are you going to be in somebody's comment section popping shit about me? And maybe your answer would be no. But then what would you do if someone else was doing it? Like, what would you do if that were me in that situation? And I'm telling you that. Like,
and I think that hypothetical put a lot of perspective for some people that with morals. Like, damn, let me think about this for a minute.
Like, if this is my sister, and like even on the end of Tory, like if that was my brother who's being accused, how would I feel? Like, of course you want to be whatever, but I would have talked to my brother. But if I know my brother wild, if I know sometimes he's unstable, like let's be really, celebrities be out here doing heavy hard drugs. They're not just smoking regular weed.
They fucking crack.
I was just disappointed that his whole rebuttal is she lying.
Yeah,
that's all your rebuttal was.
Let's be real. That's what some black men, especially when they hit a certain status, they feel like that's all they owe. They don't owe us anything, and nobody don't owe us nothing. To be honest, you don't owe us anything at all. But if you're gonna part your lips to say something, let it be something that we can all get behind, or something we can be like, not that it would ever make sense, but accountability is important. And if it's like a domino effect. Who really holds themselves accountable in this world and in our country?
Accountability is a lost thing.
It's a lost. It's becoming a lost thing. It's a lost skill.
I literally just had that conversation yesterday. Just like that's like one of my top 5 pet peeves now was no accountability.
No accountability.
I'm super late, but I've been watching Black Ink, and and I don't know if you ever watched Black Ink, but
I've seen it before.
But what's her name, Duchess? I'm like, Jesus Christ, no accountability
ever. Hear a fun fact?
Go ahead.
I interviewed Duchess at Willie P one time for an event. My old mentor, shout out to you, sis. She gave me an opportunity to do an interview with her. If I can find the picture, I'll show you. I definitely had the bangs.
You got the bangs?
I had the bangs at that point, but
not the bangs.
The bangs. So, but that's a little fun fact. I got to interview her. That was
all right.
Cool.
What we got next?
So next up, Taryn, yes, we have community healing. We're on our Janae shit. When them hung on your great cake, yo, right?
But we're not listening to that little track. Become.
I was about to say, calm down.
Calm down.
Yeah, we're not listening. We're not doing. I can't do it. Yeah. I can't even do those sounds. They bother me. But like now more than ever, I think a lot of us have really tapped into our spirituality, religion, whatever that may be. Therapy has really been on the rise. And I think I was telling somebody, did I say this already while we recorded? I don't know. But if someone, I think I did. If you're not getting therapy outside of this, if therapy is not one of the things on your checklist to acquire in 2021, or is some form of therapy like things, I don't know what you're doing. Like, we are all cooped in the house. Unless you're somebody who's been cooped up and you're used to this secluded kind of life, I hope you have another kind of outlet. And right now, I think people tapping into themselves, what's going on with them, because we've had a lot of time to sit with ourselves to kind of identify our flaws. I know for sure for me, in quarantine time, I realized some things about me that I was like, oh, where'd that come from? Like, why does that bother me? Why does that make me so upset? Why is that hurting my feelings? Why am I even annoyed or whatever by it? I had to, therapy helped me break down some things and made me realize, sis, get it together. But what about y'all?
For me, it definitely was an introspective year. 2020, I always say, is like the year of detachment. So really just getting rid of all the conditioning, working through the childhood trauma, because it's just real, it shows up as adults, and really just tapping into myself and becoming whole. Because with this year, really, it was tough. I mean, like for me, went in engaged, coming out single. So, dealing with that grieving process and just realizing that, what is necessary with relationships in general, to thrive. And for me, I've been doing a lot of soul searching, a lot of journaling. Therapy definitely has been a thing. Unfortunately, with my insurance, it's trash, but I kind of therapize myself. I'm involved with the National Alliance of Mental Illness. So the work that I do with them also helps me out with what I'm going through, and necessarily being able to share my story is also very therapeutic. So, that's some stuff I've been doing, and also really just getting into my spirituality, and getting involved with communities, because sometimes we're not in the best environments. However, you have to go outside of your space to find that good environment. It's not going to be easy. You have to do that work to, heal and do what you need to do, So, shout out to Brixie the Buddha, above our studio. There was a live, it's called Peace in the Park. And it was a whole bunch of Black people, doing meditation, talking about, positivity, eating right, all that good stuff, and Black businesses also too. So, just really finding that community, that was something that was big for me this year. And really just, seeing that any situation I'm in, there's a lesson within it, so finding that silver lining, before right. I had that mindset of, why is this happening to me? But once I changed my mindset to this is happening for me, that's when, the blessings starting to come and the abundance and all that good stuff. And, really expressing gratitude during this period of time has helped me out a lot. There's actually a study by Harvard University that said that expressing gratitude often rewires your brain to be happier. So, that's some stuff that I've been doing really. But, I've been seeing a lot, especially with people in our 30s. We've been going through a lot. We've been through 9/11. We're now in a pandemic. We've been through 2 recessions. This is real out here,
It's real.
So I'm seeing a lot of like our peers just really coming back and trying to heal and, getting their shit together. And I'm happy for everybody, proud of everybody, for doing that work.
When the blessings come in. Thank you, Tiffany, for saying, to leading us off saying, just finding different ways of therapy. Everybody doesn't have that ability to talk to a therapist, and doesn't have that credit on their insurance to actually get those 15 sessions free.
Word,
get them psych sessions in. But so for me, I still want to talk to a therapist. I still want to get that session in, but I definitely take pride in this podcast. That's one of my biggest therapeutic formats. Period. I really, when I hear the microphone come on, I hear myself in my headphones. I really can't lie to myself. It just feels it's a freeing thing. I'm able to. I just did an interview yesterday with the intern candidate, and he was saying like, I just like how you guys are free and, just be able to express yourself. I'm like, yeah, that means a whole lot to me. You're able to just have those conversations freely and actually be able to get insight from people, and you learn about yourself. Driving is another thing for me. These are the tactics that I do. I like to just clear my mind, get on the road, find that space to yourself. Like it's easy to get in the rat race and try to impress your peers and trying to get ahead. You feel like you're not where you're supposed to be. It's very easy to get down on yourself. I'm so hard on myself. Like, so hard on myself. I have to take a step back and, wow, look how much I've accomplished. Some people will give it to you and be like, hey, you did this and you listen. But sometimes you just have to take a minute and be like, you know what, wow, this is what I've done. I could do more. But and Terrence said it before, express gratitude. There are times where, you could be just really down in the dumps. So just take a minute to be like, wow, I could walk, I could talk, I could read, I could smell, I could taste. Like there's, I could see, I'm coherent. I actually could, I have family, I have a mom, I have a dad that loves me. Like it could be so much worse. Everybody doesn't have everything that you have. You are rich in spirit. You have to just think to yourself like, man, it could be that much worse. And it's crazy sometimes. It gets crazy in quarantine time for sure. Seasonal depression is among us. My friend definitely hit me the other day, just like, I'm just going through it right now, holiday depression, seasonal depression. People didn't started this year with everybody and lost so many people. But, so you gotta find that community healing, and you gotta find a good, strong group of people around you that, are consistent with loving you and consistent with challenging you, and not just being yes men. You want to be able to you want to be able to progress, and improve on yourself. And if you just have a bunch of yes men around you or people or enablers, like, you could end up dead or in jail.
I mean,
you need to have that with you.
Well, let's get into the rise of Black-owned businesses. One thing I will say that I noticed this year is that Black-owned businesses have really taken the reins, kicked everybody else off the boat, and said, we leading the charge.
That's right.
And so I've been, for Black Friday this year, I made it a point to purchase from Black-owned businesses altogether, as much as I can. I think the only business I did not support that was not Black-owned was a makeup brand, because I need some makeup brushes. But for the most part, I got hoodies. I got new toiletry set from Glamaholic Lifestyle. Love that woman. First of all, that woman right there, Mia Ray. I was put on to her through people I follow on social media, and honestly, this woman's a hustler of a different breed. And I just told myself, like, you know what, I need to look at this woman, look at her drive, see how she move it, especially in quarantine time, that she's pushing a lot of her, her products, her items out, and getting into people, just like, look at how she's taking it in stride, or look at how she's busting her ass, or look at how, like, she's trying to still engage with people and still keep her sanity. A lot of Black-owned businesses are doing their business strictly online. They don't have a brick and mortar, so it's even harder to reach their people and to connect. So I'm just super proud of every Black-owned business that has thrived this year. Shout out to my own Black-owned business, www.theydidn'ttellyu.com. You can go right up on there and send me your email address, because I have new merch coming, and I'm a Black-owned business on the rise as well. And so I think it just kind of made all of us realize and tap in. All three of us are actually Black-owned businesses, and we're rising. So I think it just told us, like, with this 600 stimulus check that we're all about to get, it's like we can't rely on Uncle Sam. We can't rely on nobody who we quote unquote voted into office to really look out for us. We got to look out for ourselves. And a lot of these restaurants, like, seeing everybody closing down, it's just like, damn, you could feel discouraged and not want to do something, but to see these businesses still moving, I'm just like, I'm motivated.
Yeah, it's that $600 check that very well made you to go to me investing in myself. That may
get me a new laptop.
That might go to another shipment of t-shirts and hoodies, and let's get this money right back. But yeah, it's been a big year for entrepreneurs. COVID had definitely made people go into overdrive, so to speak. So shout out to Sheila, the overthinker. She's been hustling. She quit her job 2 years ago, and she's been just moving and not giving up, and making more merchandise, paintings. Doing events, masked up and all that. But she out here hustling. Shout out to my man, Changed by Lulu. My man Jamel from high school. He definitely has made something from nothing to something. Like, he was on one of our first podcasts, and to see where he is today, just traveling, getting to know people, getting his merchandise up, a network, and like there's so many avenues for you to take advantage in, and I'm happy for the Adriana Riaz of the world, my girl Melinda, where Just Crave, with the food, and there's so many opportunities to do what you want to do, especially now. And it gave people a moment to sit down, and were able to just like figure things out. People are going back to school to get their business degrees, and things of that nature. So shout out to all the Black-owned businesses. This year has been phenomenal, and it's definitely encouraged me to do better. Like, I too have a online presence at the peopletalkingpodcast.com. I got patreon.com/peopletalking. There's room for all of us to make something of ourselves, and I appreciate that. That's the gift that 2020 gave me. How about you, Taryn?
Yeah. So for me, like, I saw a lot of people really coming into their gifts, which I love, definitely. I always, like, on my journey to entrepreneurship, because, like, I don't come from a family that's of entrepreneurs. I got maybe like one cousin that started his own movement, so now I'm doing the same thing now on my own. But, it's really just trial and error. That's the biggest thing. You can see what other people are doing. You can take as many classes as you want. You can take as many master classes. It don't matter. You have to find your own swag. You have to create your own formula. It works for some people. For me, I'm going into this is my second year. I said that I want to be working this business by December 9th, 2021. Full time. So if I want to quit my job, I can be able to sustain this off of Real Talk Session Series. Now, so for me, I know that this year has really woke up the hustler in with me. So I got everything you need. Like, I got videos, I got the staff now. I'm scaling. Got the designs. The brand new one.
I see you in a new. I said this looks new. Yeah, this looks exclusive.
Right.
Don't let these degrees fool you too.
Don't let it. Don't let it.
Oh, what you want? Oh, you want beanies? You want
look at this man.
I can't wait. I'm excited. I'm excited. You better go.
That's right.
I'm here for it. Yes.
So that's like one of the things of like really not getting discouraged, because I realized that it's like a crock pot. You got to set it and forget it. Set your intentions, forget your fears, and just go for real. And, with business, it's more so just trusting yourself. And for me, I've seen that, like, spirituality. That's one thing that's big for me. Like, just trusting that the money that you put out there will come back to you tenfold.
Yeah,
and it's all about strategy.
That part.
Right. And for me, the big thing was community this year. So I'm big on collaborations. Strategic partnerships are key when it comes to growing your platform and your audience.
It's a big thing.
Yeah, facts. Like, I started my Instagram. I started all that stuff, at Real Talk Session Series. You know what I mean? I started that in December of 2018, and now I'm hitting 2,300 people, and I have plans to scale me up even more. You know what I mean? So it's like one of those things of seeing strategy, seeing what other people are doing, taking that and applying it to myself in a unique way to make sure it works. So,
know what's trending, know the trends,
know the trends, and that's the thing. Like, we're not in competition with other people too. Just because you're doing something similar.
You better preach a good word. I'm about to slam on this table.
Don't do that.
Right. I'm gonna everything. You're right. Let's not.
Because I think the biggest thing with our generation and Black people in general, is that we feel that we're in competition. We're not at all.
Yeah.
When we come together in unity, we're stronger as a unit. Like, if you want to go far, you got to have a team. If you want to go fast, go by yourself. But it's not going to be guaranteed that you're going to make it that far. So that's one thing I see with that. I love the fact that people are getting this money on their own.
That's a beautiful sentiment. We here have collaborated forces together today. And we the ones with the longest podcast names ever.
Deadass. We really do have long ass podcast names. We do. That's why we're here.
Yeah, that's why we connect.
For me, competition makes it seem like for me, competition, it just makes it seem like we're all going after the same thing. Like we all have the same people that like us. Like everybody, like we're trying to take everyone's person. Not everything is not for everybody. That's what competition to me sounds like in this realm of like we think everything we do is going to be for every single person, and it's not. It's really not. And so collabing like this, it kind of puts you into this perspective of like, well, here's some people that I fuck with. Here's some people that I like. Let's put you onto something new. That's what this is all really all about.
And you're tapping into new audiences too.
For real, you really are. You really are, and that's how you expand your reach too. So if you're going to be in your own little bubble, you know what I mean? You got to be willing to branch out. So I love anything that has a collab. Anytime I see collab something, especially when it comes to Black people working together, I want to support it.
Yeah, more to come. I mean, we are individuals. Everybody ain't everybody. Everybody can't do what you could do.
No, they cannot. No,
they cannot. Facts.
So, are we going to move over?
More beautiful things.
Are we going to move into the best and the worst of the year?
Yep. So now we're going to move into the best and the worst of the year. It's been a lot of fuck shit and a lot of great shit. So
2020 is over. It is over. It is over. It is over.
Yep. But these Karens are still going to be forever. I mean, just like Wu-Tang, Karens are forever. So what was your favorite Karen moment of the year?
Is Karen for the children?
Karen, didn't you say Karen is gender neutral? Didn't you say it was gender neutral?
Karen is gender neutral, yes.
You said it was. So it's gender neutral, and it's not ageist. So
Tanners they can get it too. That's all. I mean, Tanners and Bradleys.
So but so I was gonna say, I actually thought of this again. I was like, I don't really have a favorite Karen moment that made me laugh, but I think my Karen moment, because it's gender neutral, was with a man who probably identifies as white male. But I actually had a run-in this summer with a white guy at my job, and I don't think I've ever told y'all about it. But basically, I was hanging with my dog in the courtyard, and he came up to me. And he was like, I've seen him all the time throughout the years. So I'm like, maybe he just doesn't remember me. White people swear when you change your hair, change your glasses, you come out looking like Clark Kent and Superman. They don't recognize you no more. So he came to me, he said, like, what are you doing here? And I looked at him and I said, excuse me, I'm just here hanging with my dog. How you, not even a hello, how are you, whatever. And so I won't go through rehash the whole entire story, but I want to say, like, at the end of it, I told him, like, you won't have to go do what you need to do. You're going to have to call who you need to call. Because at this point, I don't even know who you are. I don't even know why you coming up on me. You walked up on me, didn't even tell me who you were, didn't tell me what you wanted. I'm a young woman. He's like, oh, I'm sorry. No, I had to put it back on you. And then I went and did my favorite Karen thing. I went and told everybody. I contacted everyone. I said, I want to speak to the manager.
Yes.
I want to speak to the manager now. Right. I had his boss calling me. I had everybody, in on it. But for me, that was my favorite moment now, because I think to myself, you got the right one. And when Black people say you got the right one, that also means you might have the wrong one. Ooh. And but I said, I'm going to use my voice. I'm not going to sit here and let nobody or no white man make me feel any more comfortable than you already did. And once it was handled, the discomfort disappeared. I bet you every white person in that building from that day forth smiled at me. I bet you they all tightened up around me. And it's not to sit here and say I commanded something, but it's like, I don't deserve to be treated, ill here. And I had to tell him, like, if I wasn't supposed to be here, then how did I get out here? You need access to swipe into everything. So if my card works and I'm here, shouldn't 1 + 1 = 2? Why it's not connected for you? But my favorite, I think any moment that I have to correct somebody white and let them know what type of time I'm on will always be my favorite Karen moment.
Always got a Millie Rock on that all the time.
I can't do it. I'm just gonna. I don't know.
Hey, my favorite Karen moment, easily is the Amy Cooper situation. Guy in New York City, Central Park, whatever, bird watching, because Black people, we do everything. We're amazing. She got frightened or whatever and decided to use her white privilege and yell bloody murder, basically, and say, like, hey, arrest this man, he's whatever, blah, blah, blah. I mean, the guy was just filming her because just like, you acting stupid. You acting crazy right now. You damn near about to kill your dog in the midst of all this. And that what got your ass in trouble because they came through to like, hey.
But ain't that fucked up? What you get in trouble for first? Calling the black person out or your damn dog that you choked?
It's the dog. Yep. He's like, you know what? She's racist, but it's the dog for me. And Karen had to go. Amy Cooper / Karen had to go, and she got fired from her job. Like they took her ass all the way down the trail. So that was my favorite moment.
Yeah. I would say for me, like, I don't necessarily have one favorite moment, but I enjoy seeing these white people act the ass when it comes to these masks. I've seen grown men
they do
getting carried out the stores by their sons because they're embarrassing them.
I can't breathe.
People laying on the ground. People making speeches thinking they're being so prolific with their opinions about masks. Like, I'm like, yo, you're dumb. Like that's just my favorite thing.
Dumb.
You know?
Easy.
Yeah.
Easily said.
Real dumb. Real dumb.
Put the mask on.
But forget about these Karens, though. Know what I mean, you know, I think that one of my favorite things this year is really just seeing always the creativity of our people with social media.
Yes.
Know what I mean?
Yes.
So I know for me, one of my favorite videos, as well as Tiffany's, know what I mean, where the money resides,
where the money resides.
All right, we going. Where the money reside? Where the money reside? Where the money reside? Where the money reside?
Money reside. Where the money reside?
I gotta get into
That's one of my favorite ones. Yes. And then also, I mean, Tiff can also relate to this with her big ass bang from college.
Hold up, not the bang, the bang. Fuck no, not
the
bang.
The bang. What?
Yeah.
Listen,
but it's just those videos. I mean, like whenever I know I'm feeling down, I can throw them on real quick and boom, I'm good. You know. What about y'all?
No, I definitely have to say where the money reside. Where the money reside. Where the money reside. That's my 2021 mood for real.
Yeah.
I'm coming for a coin. But I want to just make sure we, you know, I know we're going to show who this person is, but his name on Instagram is Darrell Rels. Darrelly Rels. And one thing I think I mentioned before is we got to pay our respect and, you know, kind of bow down bitches to Black queer culture. Right, a lot of these terms come from this community. Within our own community, we take it, we rebrand, we do what white people do to our stuff, but we do it to the you know,
we Columbuses.
Come on, we Columbus. You know, I don't know how y'all feel about it. I'm just saying, because when you ask people where the money reside come from, they probably won't even be able to tell you. They probably just saw somebody doing a voiceover on TikTok or a friend who just started saying they thought it was cool. And now you pick up and saying it and you don't even know where the source is. And the source is almost always somebody Black and almost always somebody queer. So we got to make sure we giving flowers and credit. Even it's the whatever for me. It's the this for me. It's the that for me. That came from Saucy Santana. And I didn't really know about him until my friends put me on. And he hangs out with Young Miami. He's an artist on his own. You know, I don't know how Santana likes to identify, so maybe I should be careful with these pronouns I'm using on him. But you know, nevertheless, Santana had just got a Netflix check with Strong Black Lead doing the Hey Queen remix, and it was so dope. And I know, you know, I just looked at it and said, look at how creative we have been. Look how influential we really are. But look at where the influence is coming from. So if you wanna like these best social media videos, you better go to the source and not be uncomfortable where it came from, because you parting your lips and saying it.
Listen, we are Black Magic, man. Shout out to the LGBTQ plus community. You know, all the slang.
All of it. all of the tea. Where do you think that came from?
All the tea, everything, man. Shout out to Ricky Thompson.
Do you remember me? Yes, I was that kid that you came for, that you always said I would never be shit. Well, guess what, baby? I'm the shit now.
I enjoy his
I do too.
His videos all the time, just because I just love that we make the simplest things the funniest things in the world, and that's what he's good at. All of Meg Thee Stallion videos are amazing to me, especially her new twerk.
Yes,
that's got the craze.
She said she learned it in New Orleans.
Yeah, New Orleans.
Oh, yeah. New Orleans different down there. It's
New Orleans, and you know, listen, we learned about the knee strength from her. You know,
which I do not have.
She challenged Sierra, and we was like, man, she might
first of all, you challenged another woman.
Sierra is the one. Sierra is the
one.
Sierra's made of rubber.
Yes, she is.
She got them WD-40 knees.
She do.
Yeah, them things is always lubed up. You know, but those are a few to me, man. You know, I appreciate all of those. Anything Kevin on stage, what's up?
Why doesn't Jesus like memes? Because he's a gift from God.
God. It's hilarious.
He's good too.
You know, but those were some of those social media videos that I really, really
Can
enjoyed.
I just add an honorable mention? And shout out to my dog, Tony. Hey, Boo. I know you're not going to hear this, but hey, dog. Every single video that shows a Grinch costume chasing dogs. like big dogs, little dogs, all the dogs. I just found like when you own a dog, I get more attracted to things that have dogs in it. So when I saw those videos, I was like, people don't understand. Like they had pit bulls in there, Rottweilers in there running away from the Grinch costume. But like dogs are really so sweet. Yeah. And so adopt, don't shop. But I think that's an honorable mention I want to throw in there.
Good job.
Facts. So keeping along the theme of social media, you know what I mean? We got the best Instagram account, right?
I like the RGB right there. Look at that.
I like that transition. That transition was nice. That transition was nice. So
if you like transitions like that, now I mean, come over to the Real Talk Session series Instagram page. Now
plug yourself, baby.
Market
101. Curated educational content. Now, I mean, we got video stuff, what you need right there. We got information about random facts, COVID-19 stuff, a little inspiration, whatever you need, we got you.
Right.
At Real Talk Session series. And then the second one, I'm going to say, is the Versus TV Instagram account. Mm-hmm. That's something that has started a whole brand new movement. And, Black people, we the culture. We create new shit all the time. Mm-hmm. We create it and it gets taken away. So, Versus, it's now on Apple and all that stuff, but it started from this phone. I mean, Instagram Live. I mean, boom, that's what it was. So, that's a perfect example of creating something for free, pretty much. I mean, all you need is location, all the stuff, and then they changed it into something totally bigger. And I'm excited to see how that's going to evolve past Instagram. So, what about y'all?
Well, can I say real quick for Versus, I love how they transitioned to Apple because Instagram was playing games with that time limit. Yeah. Like they didn't want to, they didn't want to budge on the hour or budge on this. Like they couldn't do what they need to do, and they always trying to lowball us.
They got the
culture with that now.
They got it together. However, not before Apple Music can say, "Give me this check. Let me write you this nice." See, people always don't pass up on an opportunity from a Black creative. You're gonna find yourself by yourself.
I know it's gonna sound like hate because I'm Android gang all the way, but Apple, they had that delay situation over there, and the comments ain't the same in Apple. The comments ain't the same.
No, the comments aren't the same. No, I do both.
You need that IG feed. You need that Tony Baker in your life.
You do.
You need those. You need all that in your life, man. That Teddy Riley and Babyface was that was a night. That was a night. Both of them.
Teddy Riley, the Dream, that one, and Dream and
Sean Garrett.
Yeah.
It was a bunch, man. Versus definitely up there. Yeah. People talking podcasts as well. Y'all know the game.
Y'all so annoying. I swear the beans on collard greens. Y'all get on my nerves.
Monty of the People Talking Podcast, producer. I love the women, man. So I follow a lot of women, a lot of beautiful ones out there. Rachel Fit __. That's the one for me.
I know who she is.
She got the flexible for me.
She got the flexibility for me too. Jesus.
Man, I bought a calendar, everything. Like she got my money. She got my money this year.
Dedicated.
Dedication. I was like, I'll get the $30 calendar, whatever.
Supporting Black business.
Black business, man. And she doing a thing. Baha Yogi, always loved the yoga, always loved the flexibility, but she's beautiful, Bayesian, I think, she's out here cooking, doing her thing. Chanel Mauriciette, I don't know how to pronounce her last name. She definitely brought the I believe she's from Linden, but she definitely brought the the different accents involved, and like I listen to the body yaddy yaddy. So there, Paris, XHK, those are the four major accounts that I feel like I just keep scrolling and getting stuck on, and I'm like records, man. I'm liking everything.
For myself, I would say I actually have two now. The first one I would say is Justin, LA Boy. I love him. He's a memer. He's big on the captions. I love him because he's very inclusive. I feel like as a Black woman, I feel represented in some of his memes. I feel like he posts memes that make us feel like we're savages because we can be, but also ones that challenge us, that are really, really funny and comedic. So I really enjoy him. My boyfriend thinks I'm obsessed with this man's page. He's tired of seeing me he's tired of seeing him in his DMs. He really is over me in the DMs. He's like, please don't send me one more freaking post from this man. But I enjoy him. He got me through 2020. Someone who crept up on me as you both were talking, I'm like, I don't have a Black woman that has really captured my attention via Instagram, and it is. It used to be B. Simone. I used to really enjoy her. I have really been turned off of her lately. Her style of comedy isn't really funny for me. Like I like the Baby Boy. I like all that. I think that's cool. She had me for that. But I'm not a stand really for anybody. So if you lose me, I'm lost. So right now, who picked up the slack is Watch Jazzy. I really have been enjoying Watch Jazzy. I
was on her early. I love Watch Jazzy. I'm happy she's still doing it.
Right? She's Afro. She's Caribbean. She's African American. She's I believe Jamaican. But she's genuinely funny. And I remember when she was going to try to become like the next Baps to play. I believe Halle Berry.
Yes.
And everyone was like, "Yo, this is a perfect." Y'all know I said I like casting.
Her with the gold tooth and the over lipstick.
Oh my goodness, she does it. She has the beautiful body to play that role very, very well. And I know she worked very closely with Natalie Desselle Reid. I want to make sure I remember her name, who was also in Baps alongside Halle Berry. And so I know when she passed away, that was very hard too. So I was like, watching her, kind of take the reins. Like Black, we gotta remember we taking what we do creatively and we're passing it back.
And so shout out to Dormtainment because they put me on to Watch Jazzy way back in the day. And
shout out to them for real. Dormtainment been around for a while. But Watch Jazzy's perfect. She has a good video, the one with her being a baby playing with two dildos.
Oh God, no!
You gotta see. You have to see it.
I'm scared now.
Hilarious, but that's my girl. I don't think I laughed that hard all year when I saw that video. But y'all can go ahead.
So there's definitely a lot of people who caught some L's in 2020. Now, I mean, we already talked more about one person, Tory Lanez, but who y'all got on your list? Who caught some L's in your opinion?
R. Kelly finally got out of here. Took a while, but he's out of here, so he caught that L. R. Kelly and Tory, those are like the most simulating L's for me. But I would just. I'm a morbid person, man, so that Kobe loss hurt everything for me. Like that shut everything down in February. That Kobe, especially Gianna, like that was the blow. That was the real blow. Like that, like we recorded that on the podcast. We caught that while we were recording, and there was like 10 minutes of silence of just realizing what happened. And shout out to Nick Will. Like I mean, he damn near prophesized it. Unfortunately, and just like if we trying to be real about it, there is probably some parents on there. There's probably some kids on there. And then we get news that like 13 people have passed away from that fatal crash. And then just to lose Chadwick Boseman at the end of the year, Black Panther, man, like, on in a August, a summer moment, it was a crushing blow, man. And it rained all the next day. I was in New Hampshire. It rained all day. Like I knew. God knew, and that was hard for us, so much that they're not even going to reprise his character. They're just like, we're going to focus on, Wakanda because Chadwick Boseman meant that much to us, and it was a hard L.
Yeah, no, definitely. Let's salute to all the people who passed this year, for real.
Seriously.
Natalie Desselle Reid, that's the one from Baps you was talking about.
Yeah.
Alex Trebek, shout out to him.
Yes.
King Von, recently.
King Von,
Pop
Lil
Smoke.
Richard.
Sean Connery.
Yeah. And a whole bunch of other people, so just go ahead and Google, but it's real out here. But outside of someone transitioning, someone who caught a very big L, two people actually, the king of the coons, Terry Crews and Kanye West.
Yeah, them too.
They both, ridiculous. Definitely something that I never saw I never thought that I would see them be in this level. With Kanye coming from his background and the messages that he had in his music and him bowing down to Trump and all this
mental
stuff.
Mental health.
Honestly, I don't want to put that on that. But you got resources. But I
still think that's a strain. Like I feel like his mental health really has been compromised, and not that I'm trying to use it as a scapegoat. I still don't fuck with Kanye West. And I don't. And I mean, honestly, it's showing in the work that he's done. I said that Tiana Taylor album stuff was being held back. I didn't like what he did with Nas. Wasn't really a fan with Pusha T. Like. That man, he doesn't really have that Midas touch like he used to. He's still creative. He's still, a genius. But with that genius comes a little bit of insanity as well.
Yep. He said it. Name one genius. Name one genius that ain't crazy. He said it.
Name one. Like I don't know any who aren't batshit. So I mean, and I wouldn't call Trump a genius. He's just crazy. He's not a genius to me. But
yeah, definitely.
Sorry, was that all you for your L's?
Yeah, that's me for my L's. I don't got no more.
You know, for me, I had a hard time because when I think of people taking an L, I think of like, you know, maybe I'm thinking the permanency of it. Like you took an L, you never came back from it. But maybe I need to be thinking of L's like you just took an L, like, and you really lost some stuff for it. Let me not be so harsh on the words here. So for me, I think who took an L this year, I feel like the music industry took a bit of an L this year. With regards to how they've been operating and been moving with regards to the Grammys and how they get nominated. I talked about this in my episode 1 week too, about just kind of reframing your mind on what acceptance looks like, what it looks like to you, how and what it means for you with regards to your career. Like I work in higher education. I'm never looking to receive a higher education award. If it comes, I'm happy for it. But I know when people are putting themselves out there with their artistry and their creativity, they want to be recognized for it. So I get it. But I also think to myself, why is this the summation of your career and who you are as an artist?
Facts.
And at what point in time did this become the gold standard? Why can't we create another gold standard? The BET Awards have been there. And I've always had an issue with awards. I don't watch award shows. And I think I don't watch it because I feel like they're very unfair, but also because when I go to look at the BET Awards, I don't really see our people there. Not to say that there aren't people there, not to minimize anybody's celebrity or what they bring to the table, but the big names, they show for the Grammys, they show from the AMA Awards, they might even show for the fucking Country Music Awards, but they don't show up for the BET Awards, you don't show up for the Hip Hop Awards, you don't show up for the Soul Train Awards. Like, where y'all at? Like, these awards matter too. Y'all should be just as upset and big mad over this as you were. Ari Lennox was mad. I believe, over the Soul Train Award nomination or not winning it. I think it went to Lizzo, and she was very upset about it. And I was like, you know what? I'm comfortable with her being upset because this is for us. This is about us. And so I get it. It was, to me, felt like a fair opportunity for her to win. It should just be people like, oh, you should feel honored to be nominated. But it's like, at the end of the day, what makes or break you? And you know, in this industry, and I think people need to start realizing, like, we gotta take the kind of stock that we put into some of these things that we put so much emphasis on and put it in ourselves and put it into the support we already got. You are already a millionaire. You're just asking for a plaque, something shiny to go on your wall, but you already got nice and shiny things on your wrist and on your neck. So I'm just not sure what more do you need to be satisfied? And that's why I'm like, I'd rather be wealthy than famous, because fame is a disease and it's too much. So I feel like everybody in the industry who kind of feels too hung up on these things or too like whatever, I feel like that's taking a bit of an L to me. But also like the forcing of like Tiana Taylor saying I'm not making music no more. That's an L for the music world and entertainment world too. Like you got artists who are really like so hung up on it or so like committed to it and have fought for it, have strive for it. They don't get it. Now they're like, damn, I won't say she's giving up. She's moving on to other things. She got a really nice little check coming from Pretty Little Things. I believe she's the creative director for them now. Like, other opportunities will present themselves. But like, what are we going to do about what we have now? Like, this is the way it is. So
Facts.
I don't know. I ain't mean to go on a rant. I just want us to be
you
more
had to
satisfied.
get it out.
I want us to be more satisfied with where we are and what we have. That's it.
Well, you can be satisfied with this next category. Now, I mean, biggest win.
Let's see what the biggest W was.
You say it got to be a W.
Biggest wins, you know.
So what do y'all think?
I think 2020 was all about being innovative and adjusting. You know, you're talking about the music industry and all stuff. Who are you speaking about? Tiana Taylor, for example, right? Mm-hmm. Yes, she's leaving music, but she's an amazing music director. I mean, she does all her music videos. So, like, I think this year was really the year where she came out with the music videos and really just showed, like, yo, I'm talented and I can kill anything I do. So, I got her on my list definitely when it comes to the creative tip. Rihanna. Hey, you know, I say your name right.
Say it right. It's okay.
I know. But, she's killing it. With that, the Amazon special with the Savage Fenty, fashion show. So she had
number 2,
like the energy, the passion that she pours into her creative projects. You know, that's something dope. I never knew that she was definitely that involved. You know what I mean? So she got her empire she's building. She has Fenty. Mega. She got the makeup line. She got stuff for men now. And I mean, I wear like a size large if you want to say something to me. But anyway, and then now she got the cookbook coming out too. So it's like she's really taking her beginning step of music and transforming, you know, and that's an important thing, you know, realizing that your strategy has to change with the times.
Yes, it
she
does.
saw that music wasn't doing it for her anymore. She wasn't passionate about it. She might not have been making the money that she deserved, but now she's getting that dough for real.
Come on now.
So
Preach on
Rihanna,
avenue.
Definitely on the winning team. I mean, you could be really on the winning team. I mean, get at me or whatever. But Chloe and Halle also, they both killed it. Especially when it comes to visuals. A lot of artists weren't able to perform.
Their visuals are beautiful.
Between Chloe Halle and Megan Thee Stallion, their virtual setups, their remote performances, fire. I mean, those are some people I got on there for biggest wins. I mean, what about y'all?
I'll say that Versus for sure. That transformed whatever we were looking at before. Like people putting their catalogs together. Making for a great night, making the best out of the quarantine and being in the house. People are ready for those Tuesdays and Wednesdays and Thursdays and Saturdays and whatever day they wanted to drop. We were here, glued to it, glued to our phones and Apple TV. No hate. Amazon, man, for all intents and purposes, man. They won. They got all our gears, I mean, and they got all our money, and I mean, like Tiff mentioned before, like the impressive thing is that we needed those things. They came in handy. We needed those masks, N95 mask, and all that PPE equipment, So I mean, as evil as the Empire it is, they came clutch, they came in handy, and they got it all, The pandemic definitely won them all the riches. And Meg Thee Stallion, man, she has not faltered. She's been going. She's been progressing. As much as I feel like it don't even matter to the opinions of some. As much as I feel like her album was a little mediocre compared to something like Sugar that Tiffany mentioned before, like her actual debut album. It don't matter. It don't matter. She's still winning.
She's still a beast.
She got a coach ad. Like she's good. So
she's making Coach look real good. I'm not gonna lie. I saw some Coach bags and I was like, I think I need to get back to Coach.
Right.
Nothing was ever wrong with Coach.
Right.
Nothing was ever wrong with Coach.
But you need that visibility. And
that's smart.
And they picked the right person. They
picked the right one.
And they know that a lot of Black people do wear Coach. We was wearing Coach sneakers. Okay. For my biggest wins, I want to say every single Black-owned business, whether it was created, whether you thought of it, whether you're in the process of making it come to fruition, whatever it is, whatever stage you are in your Black-owned business, I feel like you have the biggest win this year to me.
Right.
Another one, anyone who could seek out therapy and contact a therapist and has done so, you win this year because necessary. And last but not least, all three of us right here, Taryn, Tiff, and Monty, doing this episode. I feel like I said at the very beginning, collab is not easy. It's hard. And making magic happen with three people in three remote places.
Yeah,
it's not going to be a seamless process, and it's not always going to be like your favorite process, but like I feel like when we get to this point, we win. We really do. It's a benefit for all three of us, so shout out to us.
Yes, definitely. So getting into the last segment, I mean, improvements for next year, it's a lot of stuff for us to work on, and speaking of this, collaboration and remote, really me focusing on the creative services that I'm providing. This is my first time really doing a longer show when it comes to live broadcasting. So, this is something that I do. So if you need the live broadcasting stuff remotely, I got you. All professional, bong, we good. But also for me, really just becoming more focused. Like I started towards the end of this year to shift gears for 2021 because I realized that it's going to be a very big year. I spoke about, this is going to be my last year relying on a 9-to-5 job. I'm going to be transitioning into this full time in December. I mean, so it's one of those things of, you got to put your foot in the gas. I'm more focused than ever, more driven. I mean, I'm not talking anymore. I mean, it's just execution. You see it when it's going to happen. I got a lot of stuff on the low that I'm very excited about that I'll be announcing soon. But, I'm just really excited for everything that I put in, the seeds that I planted in 2018, 2019. They really are sprouting now. And, I'm excited for the future. Season 2 of the Real Talk Session series on Chemistry TV, live broadcasts, more video collabs, bigger guests on the Miseducation of the People podcast. And, I'm diving into esports, which is an emerging field. So, I have a lot of stuff that's going on and, I'm just really excited. I mean, and I'm ready. I mean, get this money with my people. So, but what about y'all?
Go ahead, Tiff.
I would say for me, my biggest improvement for next year is my expanding my reach. I always say I want to expand my reach. I want to expand my reach. So I want to expand my reach, not just my voice, in that sense of my podcast, but I want to expand my reach in my coin. So I'm coming for coins next year. I think anytime when businesses, when you're creating something and you're going to put a price tag on it and ask people to buy it, you get a little nervous. It's like, well, who wants to give their money to me? Who's going to want to invest in me? Who's going to want to actually buy, X, Y, and Z design? So for me, improvements also include marketing better. I'm learning more about SEOs, the search engine optimizations, and that's some information I didn't really have before. Learning that I can actually find trends via Google. I learned that through Clubhouse. Clubhouse has been amazing. I should have said one of the biggest wins for 2020. Clubhouse has come through in the clutch for me, because as I'm currently renovating my website, www.theydiddn'tellyou.com, as I'm in the process of doing it, it made me think more strategically about what my descriptions need to be like, what content I want to put on there, how often I need to, market, and then what incentives I need to do. So for me, improvement is just improving on my entrepreneurial spirit and making sure that I grab this by the reins and not fall short on what I'm trying to do. So I'm trying to go hard. You want to be seeing me in the Black Owned New Jersey page promoting the hell out of myself. Y'all about to be like, there you go, Tiffany. So I feel like that, and that's also one of the biggest wins of 2020. I'm sorry to go back, but like Black Owned New Jersey has put a lot of us on the map and has sold some of us out. So for improvements for us, if you're looking to improve your business and improve your reach, utilize the sources that are out there. They're there for a reason. That's it for me.
Well, there you go. I mean, listen, the peopletalkingpodcast.com, that's where you can find us. We're definitely going to improve every step of the way. Every step has been a progression since the last 2 years. We've changed microphones. We've changed personnel. This year, we may be including some interns, So, I mean, it's going to get better every step of the way, but you got to take it one day at a time. Definitely going to bring more content, going to get better guests, gonna get more involved with merchandising and opportunity. Patreon.com/people talking, that's gonna grow. So the simplest thing I could say is we just have to keep progressing. I mean, and as Sarah mentioned, it just got to keep our foot on the gas and keep progressing and don't stop. I told people before, shout out to the Ether podcast, Elephant in the Room. I told them, I was like, yo, I know y'all just started, but the minute y'all stop, I'm gonna be on your neck. Like, keep going. Do not stop. Consistency is the name of the game. Everybody hasn't heard everything. And there's something different for everybody. I focus so much on the last week because we drop every Tuesday, 8 a.m. I focus so much on the last week and the last episode and those numbers. But I realize that people are going back to the other stuff,
yes, they are.
Further in the column. Oh, this went up 200 listens. Wow. So you just got to keep it in front of you, keep progressing. It's overjoying that I even have candidates willing to not get paid at all and come here to learn and get experience and put their time in, so we're just going to keep progressing. Shout out to Popcorn Fairy, shout out to Hayes, shout out to all the guests that we've had, shout out to you two being a guest on this podcast and, being able to create and learn from each one of you. Collaboration, things are just going to evolve and get better and speak it into existence. You could do this. I mean, the network is open. Everybody and their mama want to have a podcast, and every corporation and their mama want to have a podcast division.
Come on.
People need content. Content is king.
Yes, it is.
So we just gonna keep pushing and keep thriving.
Yes.
Yep.
Oh, this episode was so good.
Yeah, this was wonderful.
Thank y'all so much for everybody else who's listening. Thank y'all so much for tuning in with us. Wherever you're listening, whether it's on my podcast, They Didn't Tell You podcast, whether it's on Real Talk Session Series, Miseducation of the People, or it's on the People Talking podcast. Wherever it is that you're listening to us right now, shout out to you. I hope that you take this as an opportunity to follow us. So let me give you my social media handle so you can follow me. So you can't say you ain't know. You can follow me at Legally Black on Instagram, just straight legally and black. And then also my podcast page at They Didn't Tell You podcast. That is They Didn't Tell You podcast on Instagram. And then my website, www.theydiddn'tellyou.com. If you want to collab with me, feel free to let me know. Shoot me an email. They didn't tell you 0@gmail.com. All that stuff is in link in bio. But I'm ready for y'all to see what I'm working on next year. And I can't wait to see some people in my new merch. I feel like it's just going to give me all the warm and fuzzy feelings.
Love it, love it, love it. And you guys can catch me, at Monty Styles. I got a few Instagrams. So at Monty Styles, you can catch me there. At Styles Baby Look, you can catch me there as well. Got that account back and open. And the People Talking Podcast, at the People Talking Podcast, is long, but just spell it out one word. You guys could literally, Tiffany brought about SEO, literally type in the People Talking Podcast, however you like, in Google, and it will appear for you. At Twitter, it's the People Talking, no G, because they're hating. Patreon.com/People Talking. And we are here, man. You guys could check the website. Everything is there. And I loved all of this, man. This is great energy. Me too. And toast to 2021, man. We're going to be here.
Facts. Appreciate y'all for this. And make sure you're following Real Talk Session Series. Make sure you are listening to the Miseducation of the People podcast. That is one of our ways that we're providing this free education out here to the people. Just in case y'all don't know, the Real Talk Session Series is a community-focused media organization. So, we just out here providing all the information different ways. We got podcasts, videos, all the good stuff. So make sure you're following at Real Talk Session Series on Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, and YouTube. No Twitter at all, but I'm personally on Twitter. Real_MR_Morgan. And also that is my Instagram page too, my personal. So if you want to follow me, if you are on the Chatty, aka Clubhouse, it is Real Talk
I
only.
hate this.
And we got the new website coming up very soon. It is realtalksessionseries.org currently, but it's changing to realtalksessionseries.com very soon, probably next week when you watch this, probably. I don't know. We'll see. And most importantly, make sure you are getting that merch. Like I told you, we got colors, we got flavors. What you want? flavors.
Everybody got merch.
Yeah,
I can't wait to see it. I can't wait to see
that merch.
Yes, and I will be purchasing from y'all too.
Yeah, I got y'all.
Yeah, I got some things being sent out.
Sam, you doing your website? Get a website.
But get that merch, www.realtalksessionseries.org/shop. And all proceeds are investments towards our mission of providing educational content towards empowering Black communities across the nation. So, the proceeds, it's not just going to the pocket, it's going to helping out and creating this content because it costs for me to hire cast members. It costs me to hire production crew. I do a lot of this stuff financially funded by myself. So,
yeah,
people I can
forget.
Only help you a lot more if I get some financial support. So,
people forget. Like my resume has stepped up extensionally. Producer, host, everything, man. Social media manager, engineer.
Facts.
It does take a lot. So I'm happy you said that. It takes a lot. We are putting our blood, sweat, and tears into this, and our money.
Literally, and that's the part that feels kind of like heart, soul crushing.
Yeah. So make sure you support all of us. Yes. It's gonna come back.
I can't wait.
Yeah. But thank you, Tiff. Thank you, Monty. This has been a great time. Thank you all for tuning in out there.
Thank you.
Make sure you're following all of us. Make sure you're supporting all of us. And thank you for tuning in to the very first holiday Podclash with the People Talking Podcast, They Didn't Tell You Podcast, and the Miseducation of the People. All right, y'all. Peace.
Bye.
Happy New Year.
Peace. Happy New Year.